Centricom, Channel 10 Sports, and Mid-Utah Radio, the sports leaders in South Central Utah, now present another exciting high school football game broadcast. This sports broadcast is brought to you by sports-minded sponsors throughout South Central Utah. And now, let's go live to the football field for simulcast coverage of high school football on Mid-Utah Radio and Centricom Channel 10.
We welcome you to Cedar City, Utah, and the campus of Southern Utah University for your 8-man state championship, the third all-time state championship game in the recently developed 8-man league here in the state of Utah. And what's been another fun season of 8-man football is going to continue to get fun, not just because of our state championship today, but the future of this sport in the state continues to grow. Several other schools signing on for next season, and what's going to continue to be a fun thing here in the state of Utah. We bring you the number 1 seeded Rich High Rebels, the defending state champions, taking on the number 2 seeded Monticello Buckaroos. I'll be your lead play-by-play man this morning here at Eccles Coliseum. Joining me to my right, it is Cole Wissinger. My name is Tanner Wilkinson. Cole Wissinger to my right. Cole, it's been a few years, brother. It's good to be back on the headset. It's good to have a guy who, not that any of our other color guys don't know what they're talking about, but it's good to have a guy who knows what he's talking about, and you are one of those guys.
I've also spent a lot of time in your shoes. I call a little bit
you do
of
a lot of play-by-play
for 4, 5, and 6A up in Utah County, and every once in a while I get to go back to the roots where we started doing this broadcast thing with some rural Utah football. Well,
these two schools about as far apart as you can get in the state. Monticello, of course, down in that right corner, not quite to the San Juan area, not quite to that Four Corners area, but towards that way, while Rich right up on the Utah-Idaho border. In fact, shout out to the Rebels. I had a couple little towns in my mission where kids went to Rich High School. So the Garden City, Utah, the Lake Town, Utah, that Bear Lake, that southern area of Bear Lake that's in the state, they all attend Rich High School in Randolph. This is an interesting situation here today, Cole. Rich has dominated teams this season, and it's expected. They're one of the few schools that had an 11-man team before going to 8-man. Monticello is in that camp as well. And so you'd expect early on in this 8-man history that these are the types of teams that are going to be playing for state championships.
Yeah, even just having the infrastructure of having little league teams in your area, and getting the coaching from a young age to understand the game of football and those intricacies. You can watch all you want on TV, but until you've been in a huddle and understand the concept of a play and of what practice feels like, football can be a different beast. And then when you look at these two teams and compare them just out on the field, the snowy field that we got early this morning, Rich almost twice just the personnel, the roster size of Monticello, which has to feel a little bit intimidating for the Buckaroos.
Well, it's a game earlier in the season. Rich defeated Monticello. The Buckaroos, in a way, they remind me of the 90s Buffalo Bills. They played in all 3 state championships since the 8-man format was announced, and they are 0 for 2 so far, looking to avoid going 0-3 today. Now, when these two teams met earlier in the season, that was a while ago, and by a while ago, we're talking months at this juncture. It was a win for Rich, a win Rich had fairly handily, 55-20 down in Monticello. That's a long drive from all the way
for
up.
Either one of them.
Yeah, either way. Well, either team. Any drive in the state is a long drive from them, but the drive from Randolph down to Monticello, a hefty jaunt, and to go down there and get a win like that was certainly impressive, but that was months ago. That date literally was in late August. Trying to get that date again pulled up here, August 30th, so right at the end of the month of August. We're now less than 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving, so lots changed, personnel change, injuries pile up. So it should be interesting to see how time has changed these two teams since that meeting.
It can certainly be a long season, and the football is a rough game, right? When you talk about, well, we're going to get into basketball because the basketball season for some teams have already started, and that's going to be a long season, but it's not as physical of a game on your body where, and learning the plays and learning the other things that come from your summer camps, getting ready for a football season. It's certainly where you look at the college game, the teams at the beginning of the season wildly different for getting ready for that playoff push, and we have the culmination of the playoffs today in front of us.
That's right. If you're just joining us or joining 8-man, this is your first 8-man game, expect a lot of space, expect a lot of big, long plays. Last week between Monticello and Water Canyon, we had 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns, 2 of which were back-to-back. So it's an exciting style of play. a lot of fun, and we're going to bring it to you here today as we're going to have our national anthem coming up next. You're tuned in to the 8-man high school championship here on TeamHive.live and KSLSports.com. Shout out to our friends at V6 Media as well for helping us out here today. So as our anthem is played, we'll send it out to the mics out on the field for this today.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you to Jasmine Ennis for the national anthem.
And a big shout out to the young lady that just piped the national anthem. That was impressive, Cole. Sometimes you're still a high school kid. You're still trying to figure out range and different things. She knew what she was doing.
Vocal cords can be a little cold at 9 a.m. on a morning like today, and she got up there.
Yeah, it is cold conditions down here in Cedar City. There is some snow if you're seeing pushed off to the side here at Southern Utah University. The drive down was a little dicey at certain points for certain folks, depending on where you were at. So glad to be here safe as we bring you the Rebels and the Buckaroos. Rich is going to be blue helmets. I love a good gray uniform. Cole.
This is the Lions from last year.
It
where
is.
They trotted out the alternative logo, and then the all gray jerseys and pants.
It looks good. The white numbers with the blue trim, and then on the flip side for the Buckaroos, they'll be in black helmets, white jerseys, black pants with the orange trim, black numbers. A good jersey look here. Two very contrasting looks for these two teams, so it should lead to a fun matchup, at least visually, from that point. Let's talk a little bit about how these teams match up, Cole. Rich has ran over most of their opponents that have played. They've played a couple 11-man games this year, including against Gunnison Valley, which they won, and then losing a game to South Sevier Lake. But those kind of games, I feel like, have really built Rich and are the kind of games you schedule to get you to games like today. You know how to play against the best of the best and whatnot, as we are getting our chopper coming in to drop the game ball.
Flyover. Yeah, North Sevier and South Sevier are two of those three losses, and those were both one-score games.
Yeah.
So you're sticking in games like that, and then one other loss to Mountain View, 28-0. Both teams come into the game with 3 losses on their schedule, so they seem evenly matched when you just take a cursory look at the schedule, but then you dig deep into how those games actually played out, and they have had different opponents, different quality of play as well.
Yeah, as we get the football drop here, probably send out your best punt return man for a situation like this. And wow, it's already getting competitive out there. Would you look at that?
That should be Rich possession. He had the inside track for it, and then both kind of went down.
Well, there you go. I would hate to see an injury on something like that, but we did not, and we will get ready to get set here. Rich going for back-to-back state championships. Monticello in the championship game for the 3rd straight year, trying to get a ring after falling the first two. Again, these two teams met in the semifinals in what was a wildly competitive game 2 years ago on this field. In the semis, Monticello won that one. And now the Rich Rebels have since gotten their revenge since that semifinal loss, beating Monticello the last 3 times. A very cool flyover just took place coming back around. So
more flyby.
That's right. So Monticello is going to get the football to start here, Cole, and I think that's an important thing when you are an underdog and when you are playing against a team that beat you. Opportunity to strike first, really, really key on this opening possession for the Buckaroos.
Yeah, and it's establishing both teams scored a lot in that semifinal game in order to get here. They both won by double-digit points, and so it's a matter of getting into your rhythm really early, especially we've mentioned it's a picturesque view that we have here with the mountains still covered by clouds this early in the morning, and then got a little snow in different areas. So they wiped all the snow off the field, and so can you get hot early is going to be the thing.
A little bit of steam coming off these players as we're set to go here at Southern Utah University. First of 4 state championship games today, and we are underway. This kick goes to the left side of the field. It's fielded at about the 20-yard line for the Buckaroos. Look to cut it back upfield. Stutter step, 30. Stays on his feet, 40, 45, 50. One man to beat, 40, 35. He is out of bounds. Oh, nearly runs that back. An excellent return for the Buckaroos. And that's part of this 8-man game, Cole. If you haven't watched it, there is room to run.
Dylan Fonnesbeck, the kicker, ends up being the one to push him out. He's the last line of defense. Hey, if there's only 8 guys on the field, your kicker becomes even more.
He's part of the
that kind of thing. He's got to be there.
He's part of the tackling gang for sure. So a good return as Jackson Kais comes out at quarterback. Had a really good game last week. You look at the mechanics and maybe you think Tim Tebow-esque maybe a little bit, but he delivers a good ball. He throws a good tight spiral, and it gets it to the guys he needs to. Kais takes the snap. It's a high snap. It's going to be a handoff to Black, right side. Black trying to get to that edge. Does so and tiptoes out of bounds. A good gain from Black on 1st down and 10. Give him 9.
Utilize the space early. That's the 8-man football is played on the same exact field we play college and pro ball too. And so with the condensed formation, the smaller offensive line, you can get to that outside if you've got the speed, and Black's got it.
So it'll be 2nd and short here for the Buckaroos. Again, another rule change, or not rule change, but rule difference in 8-man. Everyone is eligible. You notice the center wears number 3. You don't see that in any other level of football. Kais, play fake, throws on a slant. It's just a little high, trying to get it to his intended receiver. That is number 1, Tommy Morrison.
Yeah, Kais has that big old windup before he delivers, and we'll see if he can bring things down, bring them into control here as we're still early on.
Mass sub for Rich here as we're 3rd down and short. You take the shot on 2nd and short, likely 4-down territory here for the Buckaroos. Kais takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff up the middle and a fall forward from Shumway, and that's going to be good for a 1st down. A nice carry up the middle for Monticello. They move the sticks.
I don't care how close you are to the end zone. I think every down is going to be 4-down territory when you're in this 8-man.
We saw a lot of it a week ago, yeah, in the semis.
They're bringing everyone in here.
Yeah, Buckaroos now in a tight formation. Now send one wide to the right. Kais with Black at his hip takes the snap. It's a draw play up the middle. Black gets a good push on 1st down. He's going to get 5. So Monticello good on 1st down so far on this drive, but now an injury. It looks like Shumway is down for Monticello.
Shumway was coming in from that almost sniffer tight end position where he was behind the line, but they used creative ways to get more blockers into the formation. Unfortunately, he goes down awkwardly as he was turned around just trying to wait for him and then gets rolled up at the end of the play right there, as you can see on the replay.
Hate to see that, especially this early in a state championship game. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here on TeamHive.live with KSLSports.com and V6 Media.
Hi, I'm Barrett Hilton with TeamHive.live, where we've created a locally run video streaming platform for Utah schools. On our website, you're not going to wade through a bunch of unrelated content. You bring up TeamHive.live and you're just going to find a lot of high school sports and events. We've created tools that make it super easy for you to create events and stream to our site. And if you ever need help with anything, you can give me a call. So I want to invite your school to join the team. If you're a Utah high school, you can stream live on TeamHive. That's TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
And we welcome you back. Back on in. It's that Baja Blast this early in the morning. I hate to see a guy not able to put any weight on that left leg, Cole. We're hoping that maybe you get that retake. And we're not sure exactly what the extent of the injury is, but hoping to see Shumway come back in, especially where he just had that first down run.
Yeah,
prior.
Already an early part of this game, but when you have a two-back set, now all of a sudden the onus falls on Black to take a little bit more of that load. Not going to get the rest and relaxation, especially with the shallower bench Monticello has.
Depth, the difference between these two teams right now. Kai's pitch left side. Black gets a good block, stumbles. Looks to push forward. He's going to get a couple, but not get the first down. Give him a yard and a half, maybe 2. Brings up, give him 1. It's 3rd down and 4. That play was really strung out, and give credit to the Rebels for sticking with it.
Yeah, Rich's defense so far, great pursuit. They've been stout up the middle. We haven't been able to get a lot of those just power forward runs. They've been susceptible a couple times on the perimeters, and we'll see if Monticello continues to attack it.
3rd down and 4. 2 receivers left, 1 right for Kai's. Single back set with 3 men at the line. You see a bunch of different formations in this 8-man league. Play clock's down at 9. Kai's takes a snap, gets rid of it to the outside. It's complete. Not blocked well. In fact, that's going to come back as a hold as Carter Rogers able to get the first down, but this is easily coming back.
Yeah, it's on Camacho, and he's the one that had that big kickoff return to set up this drive in the first place, but the screenplay got a little bit out of sorts, and then Camacho got out of his normal alignment to do the blocking on the perimeter, setting up the bubble.
So this is going to set the Buckaroos back. What was 3rd and 4 now likely becomes a 3rd and 15, 3rd and 14. Yeah, so we'll have 3rd and 14 here. Still 2 downs for Monticello to try and pick this up, but a costly penalty. And it's part of what sprung Rogers free. He's likely going to get tackled right where he catches the pass, Cole, as we see on our replay.
Yeah, if Camacho doesn't do that little follow-through, he was out of his alignment at the beginning, and if he had just let him go, it's possible he squirts forward, but yeah, gave that a little tug at the end.
3rd down and 14 now for Kai's. 2 receivers left, single tight end with a single back. Kai's sends a man in motion. It's a high snap, quick throw to the outside, and just pressure got in quick, forced an early throw to Morrison. It falls incomplete, 4th down.
And that's right, getting the motion, using the space that the field offers you, just overthrew a little bit, right? You're trying to lead your receiver. That's the idea of the play design, but just misses on the delivery.
So here we go, 4th down, 14 for the Buckaroos as Rich's defense trying to stand stout here after a key penalty against Monticello. 2 to the left, 1 to the right for Kai's. Kai's is going to take the snap, trying to set up a little screen play. It's high and incomplete. Trying to get it to Black. Well defended by the Rich Rebels. Number 23 coming up with the stop for Rich. Turnover on downs. The Rebels get it back.
Screens could be really interesting play calls at the 8-man level because there's no such thing as an ineligible man downfield when everyone is eligible in the first place. So the offensive line, as it is, the 3 guys got off their blocks immediately and start working downfield, which is totally fine, right? Start working in some run-pass options, things of that nature, and all of a sudden you're cooking with some gas, using the rules to your advantage.
And we saw that last week. Both teams have used the screen to their advantage at times when you have that much room out on the field. So Rich takes over at the own 29-yard line for the Rebels. 2 receivers left, single receiver right. As it's going to be an option read for the quarterback. He's going to scamper and look to push forward, and a good gain on first down as the pile pushes forward. Wow, it was going to be about 6 yards. Push him forward. Carter Hoffman, the senior QB, and Rich looks to go. And this is one thing about the Rebels, Cole. They will play, and they will play fast.
And they're already spreading it out on the line, ready to go.
Hoffman, counter right side off of a slot receiver sweep to the outside, and that's going to be a first down for the Rich Rebels. Number 23 coming up with that play. Drake Weston, who already has some good plays on defense, gets the jet sweep for a first down.
The Monticello bench saw it coming from a mile away, and they were screaming at their guys to turn around and go and pursue, and just got enough for the first down to get out of bounds.
Hoffman with 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left with a single back here. Senior quarterback takes the snap. It's going to be an option read, keeps it himself, and evades the tackle. Gets to the left side. Plenty of room for Hoffman. 50, 45, 40, 35, 30 with the blocker. inside the 10-5. He is in. It looked like it was going to be a loss on the play. Welcome to eight-man football as Hoffman, with all the room up the left side, takes it in for 6. Can't have missed tackles in eight-man, Cole. That's the number one thing you talk about as a defense. One missed tackle and plays like this happen.
Hoffman made the wrong read, right?
Yeah.
He pulls it and he keeps it himself and he runs into 3 different defenders, and then he's able to have the athleticism to get to the end, had one more blocker at the end to spring him into the end zone.
And an excellent block as well. Send that into Sports Center as they go for 2 here. It's low, but is it caught? It is
caught. Off the grass.
They say caught.
Oh,
no. One official said good. The official closer to the play pointed at the ground. So it is no good. So with 9 minutes and 1 second remaining in the opening quarter, it's Rich 6, Monticello 0 on TeamHive.live with V6 Media and KSLSports.com.
The holidays. And holiday trips. And holiday toys. And holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag. Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $3,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. See your Rocky Mountain Chevy dealers.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Well, Cole, only if you're Lamar Jackson or if you're playing eight-man football can you make the wrong read and turn it into a play like that.
Number 8, he looks familiar. Hoffman with an amazing run, caps off a 3-play, 71-yard drive to get you into the end zone, and Rich gets onto the board, but no PAT, so 6-0.
Kick is now heading left, fielded at the 10-yard line. Opportunity for a return here from Rogers, who had one a week ago. Had multiple touchdowns a week ago, gets out at the 30, so better return position by the defense or the special teams of Rich. Monticello is going to have to drive longer now. That's got to be tough if you're the Buckaroos because you made such a good special teams play, Cole, to open the game and then get 0 points from that and then to give up a touchdown. This, again, I might be saying it all night, or all morning rather, but this is a big drive for the Buckaroos.
We will be talking about football all day long,
sure,
morning until night, if you keep along with us on TeamHive.live. So it's weird to have a game so early in the morning. Yeah, Monticello isn't able to cash in on the initial field position, this time starting at the 31.
They go with a 4-man set up front with a stacked receiver set to the left. Single receiver right is Rogers. Kais, high snap, doesn't matter. False start, which actually benefits Monticello because I don't know that Kais, even if he was ready for that, was going to get that one. So another penalty, so that's 2 now on the Buckaroos. Penalty free so far for Rich. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 26.
And it's always
first and 15, excuse me.
It's always interesting to see how defenses counter, right? Whenever you have such a variety of formations you have at your disposal on offense, right there on the last play that didn't count, Rich only had 2 down linemen, and they shift into a similar formation here.
It's a backwards pass, and that's a live football. It goes out of bounds. So another loss on the play for the Buckaroos. This drive going not just nowhere, but backwards.
Taylor and Carter Rogers were both going out into the pass set for options there, but number 8, William Rogers, was never able to bring it in for the opportunity if a double pass is what they were setting up. Now it's 2nd down and super long.
Yeah, we're looking at 2nd and 25, 2nd and 30 for the Buckaroos. So we'll go 2 receivers left, 1 receiver right side, single back set here for Kais. Still have not seen Shumway back in the ball game yet. High snap again for Kais. He's going to load up, fire over the middle. Had his man for a minute, but just threw a little behind the intended receiver, and that falls incomplete. 3rd down and long.
Yeah, Cash Young had an opportunity over the middle, and you're just eating back into it. Whenever it's 2nd down and so long, you don't need to try to get it all back at one point. That could have got there, but the crosser just isn't timed up quite right.
So 3rd down and extremely long here for the Buckaroos. Snap to Kais. Pocket holds well. Hit as he throws, incomplete at the last second. Threw it away. Number 67, I want to say, getting in there for the Rich Rebels. That is Rylan Go.
And you have 2 rushers and 4 into block, and you cannot stop one single man. Go just blows it up from the get-go.
So 4th and long punt coming here for the Buckaroos, and this is likely going to flip the field position game as Rich is expecting some really good position here. Snap is low. It's bobbled. Picked up and at least got kicked away. Ball bounces at the 45. Picked up right at the 50.
Missed
Weston
tackles.
makes two guys miss. Cuts back up to the 40. Has blockers, and he will be gone again. A punt return for 6. The Rebels taking advantage here early. Make it 12-0 with the PAT pending.
Explosive plays, and yeah, just gotta worry about the tackling for Monticello. No matter what you're in, right, they're a little bit out of their normal rhythm of the punt unit, and you think the way he brought that in, maybe you even call a fair catch, because the Monticello
He was about to get rocked,
down.
yes.
And then they
not an 8-man.
Let up, and were able to get a big explosive play.
Drake Weston's had a nice start to this game in all 3 phases. Had the jet sweep for a first down on the last drive. Pass breakups on defense, and now a punt return for a score. So it's 12-0, 2-point conversion try here for the Rebels. And remember, everyone is eligible. That gets real fun on some of these 2-point conversions. Hoffman takes the snap. It's an option. Decides to keep. Pitches at the perfect time and is in for 2 to Hudson Perry, the sophomore running back. Makes it 14-0. There is a flag on the play.
I was just about to talk about how it was so beautifully executed, and that's just how you draw it up, unless someone's holding.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting, and the way, I mean, it's clearly on Rich the way they're backing up. Yeah, easy call. So Weston gets called for the hold after he scores the touchdown. An excellent shot here, and yeah, just tugs at that jersey at the last possible second.
And sometimes you see holding far away from the play, and you gotta, kind of bang your head against the wall. You didn't need to do that. That hold is what got him to the corner, and we got there.
Fake from Hoffman, rolls out to his right, going to take a firing shot at the end zone. It's batted and caught. My goodness. Number 16 coming down with the 2-point conversion off the tip drill. Daniel Smith gets the 2, and it's 14-0. Let's take another look at this. Just a jump ball, 50, and at this point, it's a one-try play. Why not? It's batted in the air. Smith makes the adjustment. No gloves needed to snag that one in. 14-0, Cole, and now this drive is massive for Monticello. Already down 2 scores, and we're not even 4 minutes into this one.
I like the more conventional look at offense for the 2-point try. They lined up to kick the first PAT after the first touchdown and end up trying a sort of trick play, and the pass went just short. So even after you back up from the hold, you still go for it to try to go up the full 2 scores, and it works when you can just throw. The end of that looked like a Hail Mary, even though it was only coming from about the 15-yard line.
So now Rich will look to send deep. 8:20 to go here in the opening quarter. Got a text from a fan, Cole. You and I do a podcast together. The text says, so fun to hear Wilk and Wiss calling a game together. It's my mom, in case anyone's wondering. But fielded at the 8-yard line. Opportunity here for the Buckaroos as an excellent special teams play by the Rich Rebels. Coming up with it for Wilkes Weston. Another Weston boy out there making a hit.
And that was Kylan Groh cleaning up there as well. He's the man that pushed the last offensive drive for Monticello so far back, and he's making diving tackles there alongside Wilkes Weston.
So, Cole, you and I do a podcast. We highlight NFL players that come from the state of Utah.
Exactly.
High school, college, doesn't matter. You spent time in Utah, you're going to be talked about it.
Exactly.
8-man football in Idaho produced a really good linebacker in the NFL.
I'm familiar.
Pitch goes to the outside to Black. Black gets that edge, scampers out of bounds, a good game, and then a late push. Yeah, this one's going to come. He was well out of bounds when the push came. I don't think there was anything malice there. It was just mistimed on the Rich side of things. So that's a big break for the Buckaroos, going to give him a first down.
Yeah, no matter what level or what small town you come from, right, a 17, 18-year-old is still a 17, 18-year-old, and sometimes you grow up to be Leighton Vander Esch and you get to play in the NFL.
That's right. Boise State legend. And I think injuries late in his career with the Cowboys was too bad, because that kid, you want to talk, I think he knew you can't miss tackles in 8-man football, because he rarely missed tackles while playing for the Boise State Broncos and the Dallas Cowboys.
Some coach in rural Idaho taught him well.
Sam in Idaho. Not too, probably closer to, that might be closer to Rich than Monticello actually is.
There we go. All comes back around.
First down and 10. Kai's on a jet sweep. Comanche looks to turn upfield, and he's just smothered. Weston again. Talk about an early candidate for MVP, even though we don't really have an official one to give out. Excellent TFL. Weston's just a football player.
Yeah, watch Weston coming from that middle linebacker position here on the replay. That's where Leighton Vander Esch made popular. You're able to read the blocks and read things in front of you and just be a guided missile into the ball carrier.
Well, we've got snow flurries right now. Dwight Schrute would call it a dusting, but that's where we're at the moment. Kai's a run up the middle to Black, and he gets maybe a yard.
By Weston.
You know, and they're really missing that change of pace back, having Shumway out there. That injury really putting a damper on this offense. Black kind of more of your power guy. Shumway more that speed type of play.
And you saw him working early in this drive to manufacture some speed, work the jet sweep, work other guys in motion. We see a little bit of motion here. Fake.
Kai's just a jump ball with Morrison, who goes up. It's intercepted. Picked off by the Rebels. 45-50 back to the 40, 35, 34-yard line. Picked off number 24 for the Rebels, Riker Hoffman with the INT, and disaster continues to spell for the Buckaroos.
Yeah, a couple plays going backwards, and all of a sudden you need to pick it up on this one big play. Throw the 50-50 ball, and sometimes it's more of a 40-60 when it hangs in the air like that.
Sideline warning against the Rebels, so nothing happens now, but if it should happen again, I believe that's just a 5-yard, maybe a 15-yarder. I'm trying
Usually
to remember.
15.
You never see it called twice because the guys get excited, and then after that, one of those assistants on the sideline is always backing kids up the rest of the day.
Saw one of the first sideline warnings at the college play in last Saturday's big rivalry game in the state.
Sure did. Trips to the left, single receiver right here for Hoffman. Takes the snap. Throws on a screen to Weston. Weston makes the catch. Is tackled well. It's only going to be a gain of a yard, maybe 2 for the Rich Rebels.
But you do this early in the game to set up the deep shot later, right? And you had 2 streaks going on either side of the trips, and then it comes in low to Weston. Good cleanup, but it's a good first quarter kind of play call.
Trips right now, single receiver left as they switch sides of the formation. Hoffman looking for that single guy, now rolls to his right, has all kinds of room, becomes a runner, looks to fight forward for a first down, and does get the first down to the 20-yard line. A good run from Hoffman.
And made the good read on the defender that was covering Weston. So Weston had a little bit of space in the flat, and then it's the decision as Weston starts to work up the field, the defender follows him just enough. Quarterback makes the decision to run and then eventually breaks a couple tackles to get forward for the first.
Trips left, single receiver right. Hoffman back to pass. Pocket running out of time, dancing around like he's Patrick Mahomes, and just throws this away. Thought his receiver was going to cut back upfield. Yeah, one thing I am not 100% sure on if there is grounding in 8-man. I don't know that there is.
Well, your tackle box,
I genuinely don't know.
You only have
that's
guards,
what I'm saying.
You don't have tackles, so you got to imagine a tackle box.
We'll have to ask our rules expert, Rick Robinson, about that. If he's tuned in, Rick, send us a text if you know the answer to that.
I was listening on my way down here to get prepped for some 8-man ball. I was listening to you and Rick's call of Monticello in the semifinal game. He had all kinds of good insight. And
Rick
that is
knows
where my 8-man knowledge comes from.
Yes.
Radio Rick.
Trips left, single right on 2nd and 10 for Hoffman. It's a designed roll to his left. He's going to step up, take a shot towards the end zone. Double coverage is there. It's batted, incomplete. Another near tip drill, a near interception. Carter Rogers got his hands on that ball. Incomplete, 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, and then it was William Rogers that had an opportunity. If you just keep the head on the swivel, Carter bats it right into his breadbasket and then just bounces off the shoulder pads, and he was worried about making sure it wasn't a touchdown. So it's good defense, but the opportunity was there.
You know, I nicknamed him Captain Rogers last week. I didn't.
That's a good
Barrett Hilton, our executive producer, points out Carter Rogers. Agent Carter. Like, how did I miss that a week ago?
Right.
Yeah. It's going to be an option play here for Hoffman on 3rd down. Does pitch it. And well defended by the Buckaroos. Nobody stays in bounds. Inside the 5. Cuts back. Touchdown. There is a flag on the play. Wow.
If it's anything, it's going to end up holding on Fosbeck, who's done kicking duties and has been out in the routes as well. But you saw the offensive player ends up knocking into Fosbeck, his own man, that kind of kept him up and upright and in bounds.
So this hold likely comes later down the field, so I'm not sure if they're going to mark this off from the oh, they are.
Yeah, Fosbeck was already looking a little dejected walking off to the sideline. It's going to be on 35.
Number 23.
Oh,
10-yard penalty
on Weston.
Interesting.
from the previous spot.
It's a good speaker system here. We appreciate the facilities for Southern Utah University to host.
We don't always get the mics at some of these high schools we go to, especially the smaller you go. And
yeah,
interesting.
So that's Weston just pulling his guy down out of bounds, following him.
So 3rd and 10, that would have resulted in 6. Now 3rd and 20. Trips to the right. Single left. Hoffman, empty set again. Gets that single coverage, takes a shot. Downfield, incomplete, and that's easy money. Now, this is not going to be an automatic first down. Pass interference at the high school level is not. It's 15 yards, but this is going to set up 3rd and 5 as opposed to 4th and 20 following the penalty. Not a lot of automatics. It's mostly just roughing the passer or roughing, kicker, punt, that kind of a thing. Otherwise, it's just yardage.
And the unsportsmanlike as well?
I think it depends if it's a live or a dead ball. So it'll set up 3rd and 5, much more manageable now for the Rebels. I like that play call, though. Get him in a one-on-one situation, Cole. Give your guy a chance to get the football.
And that, again, what differs 8-man and then the 7-man kind of AAU ball style game that you get ready for from full-on 11-on-11 football is the space that can be created, and so you get a lot more of those ISO opportunities.
A lot of one-on-one plays.
And then sometimes you just bring it in for a real conventional I formation behind 5 linemen.
It's a handoff right side to Weston. Weston stutter stepping, strung out and defended extremely well by the Buckaroos. Maybe gets a half a yard on the play. Will bring up 4th down. And that seemed like a play call, like we're going to try and get this in 2 plays.
Yeah.
And Monticello's, Rich rather, is bringing out some personnel. So 4th down, ball at the 14-yard line, need to get inside the 10. Do the Rebels. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right with a single back for Rogers. Snap, Hoffman, option. Stutters, pitches at the last second, and this just continues to go backwards. Stays on his feet, gets a block, cuts inside the 10, the 5, he's in again! No flags on the play. Hudson Perry, you got to bring him down, man. A push isn't going to do it, Cole.
If there was one more game to be played, we'd be doing tackle drills all week in practice to get ready for it. But this is it, Monticello. This is your season. And it's coming down to some missed tackles and extended play opportunities for Rich to start running up this score.
This is unbelievable. First of all, the pitch was as probably not even, you probably just shouldn't have pitched it. Yes. And somehow it results in 6 for the Rebels. 20-0 our score with 4:41 to go in the opening quarter. Now in a traditional PAT situation, it's a low snap, holds in, and it's blocked. So that will end the drive. Rich gets the touchdown. No extra point. Rich 20, Monticello 0, 4:41 to go. Here on TeamHive.live, partnering with KSLSports.com and V6 Media.
Earning your degree doesn't have to be complex. USU Uinta Basin lets you stay close to home and save money. As an Aggie, you'll have access to a personalized education with student support from faculty mentors. Let us help you achieve your goals your way. On campus, online, this is your U-State.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Rich 20, Monticello 0, Cole. The Rebels look like the real deal. They look like the defending state champions that are favorites to win.
Yeah, there's 2 halves to a missed tackle. There's the missed assignment and the missed form tackling on the defensive side, but at some point, Rich is just making guys miss on every single one of these extended long plays.
Kick coming here for the Rebels as the Buckaroos fielded at about the 12, take it up to the 20. Rogers, left side to the 25. First and 10.
On the other side, Rich's defense is doing a wonderful job. After that first kick return, since that play, they have been tackling, bring 2 arms around a man and bring him down.
Now, some exciting news in the 8-man scope of things. Rumor has it Penguich is going to be playing football next year. A lot of good athletes down in Penguich. And then I believe Bryce Valley is going to be bringing in 8-man football. And then Milford, who's been playing 11-man, is dropping to 8-man next year. So there's I'm telling you what, man, 8-man, there's a future in it. Kai's play action, high pass, incomplete. Kind of been a theme of Kai's passes here in the first quarter, just a little bit high.
Yeah, and a little bit of a bump at the top of the route. Nothing to warrant any penalty call, but got to bring that excitement down and tighten up that spiral to just fit it in at the right spot.
So we got 2nd down and 10. One receiver high. It's Rogers. They go tight formation here. Kai's mishandles. Ball's on the ground. This is going to be interesting.
Seth Taylor got on top of it.
I do too. No, they point the other way. It's Rich football. No. My goodness. Well, as they say in the movie, The Game Plan, Boston Webb will catch the magic, because that's what's happening right now with Rich. They are catching every break possible.
And Monticello brings in an I formation. They have a fullback, Cameron Carpenter, in the game, so they can run some power right up the middle. And yet, I think the spacing or the timing was just off as the quarterback turns around to hand it off. Black just was a half step ahead of where the quarterback thought he would be. And you can't make little mistakes like that with a title at stake.
2 receivers to either side. Hoffman brings a man in motion. It's Weston. Snap Hoffman. Empty set to throw. Loads up. Fires a strike over the middle. There's 2 guys there that nearly run into each other. Making a big play on the football was the Buckaroos. Is that number 8, Cole, coming up with the PBU? Looks like William Rogers did get a glove on that.
He's been playing a little bit of deep safety for this team so far, so he's had an opportunity, but also playing defense is just the route design and having 2 different guys in the same place.
2nd down and 10 now. Not a bad ball by any means from Hoffman.
Yeah.
They'll go trips left, single receiver right. 2nd down and 10. Hoffman takes a snap, back to pass.
4 into block.
Danson now just falls, just stumbled. And one of the best plays by this Monticello defense today was the stumbling. And give him credit, he stumbled. Why, Cole? Because he had 2 guys right in his lap.
Exactly. Yeah, and we said this before on the Monticello offense side of things. You bring in 4, you got to be able to, in this kind of offense, play your numbers game and figure out how many are out in the route and how you can protect your quarterback. And this is the 2nd time where 2 rushers have been able to outnumber the 4 into block.
3rd down and, what do you call that, 18 here for Hoffman. Tried to set up the screen. They do so to Weston. Weston makes the catch. Rogers pursues well and brings him down.
And he had to make it.
Yeah. It was not going to go well if Weston had broken that. So 4th down here for Rich as Monticello's defense has suddenly stiffened up on this drive.
That's how you design that screen to work. They got 3 defenders into the backfield immediately, and then you allow Weston to just outrun everyone else. Rogers was the last line of defense before at least a decent gain, and he was able to make it.
4th down and 14, a gain of 4 on that play from Weston as Rich gets the play in here. Play clock at 13, game clock at 3 minutes now in this opening period. 2 receivers left, 1 right for Hoffman with a single back. Hoffman pumps, just going to get rid of it to his back. Gets to the 30, cuts back upfield to the 25, going to get back to that original line. Not enough for the 1st down. Oh, no, Monticello. Oh, a late push from Black after the guy was down. I think they're going to call an unsportsmanlike here, Cole. You finally get a stop on defense.
And on 4th down, they don't even gun it to the sticks. You give it to the running back out of the backfield and count on, at this point, a mistake by Monticello, and it ends up working, whether it's the missed tackles or penalties that have allowed Rich to stay ahead.
We have a dead ball, personal foul, late hit, number 30. Half the distance, ball goes over.
So because it was after the play, that's okay. Very fortunate for the Buckaroos. The play was over. It would have been turnover on down. It is a turnover on downs. The play ends. There's a little push into the turf after this tackle by Black. And it backs Monticello up, but they still get to keep the football. And a little bit of a that's a very minor push, but if they're going to call
it's
it, they're
good
going to call it.
A little one like that didn't cost that drive, and Monticello can't take back over, but you cost yourself a little bit of field position at that, and it's going to go to black on the first play.
Gets to the outside, sheds one tackle, but might have lost a yard still with how well the sideline was defended by the Rebels.
And that's not Black's game, is trying to stretch things out east and west, get the man moving north and south. Unfortunately, that's what Rich has bottled up already earlier on, so Monticello's looking for other options to find that space.
Not having Shumway out there. He's your east-west guy.
Or if we were in Cowboy Stadium, he'd be the north-south guy because they built the stadium sideways.
Hey, the sun's shining now. That might be an issue for some of these players. Kai's back to pass, quick hitter to Rogers through his hands, just again, an inch high.
High for Kai's, and that's a good little hitch route. That's the kind of thing that you design at the high school level to get yourself 5 free yards, right? It's not always there, but you have the opportunity, and it's, first day install, even at the 8-man level, as everyone go out and run hitches.
They do a bubble formation tight to the left with a single receiver right on 3rd and 11. Kai's back to pass, pocket collapsing. Loads up, throws across his body. Just no one there. Incomplete.
Across the body to the middle of the field in this field position. He's lucky it's not a pick 6, but the defense was also far from an opportunity. Look at some of the bullying being done by this defensive line for Rich.
It's impressive when a 3-man front and 11-man gets pressure. A 2-man front is getting the job done here in 8-man today.
Yeah, shout out to Jadix Chandler there on the Rich side.
4th and 11, punt coming here for the Buckaroos. A good winding kick that's going to take a bounce at the 45. Weston wanted to run up and field that. Smartly does not. It'll still be good field position for the Rebels at their opponent's 46.
It's worked for them so far in this day. But, yeah, right now just get the offense back out here because the offense has also had no problem moving the football. We're still in the first quarter, Tanner.
We are,
2 minutes and 19 seconds.
We are 38 minutes of real time to not even 10 minutes of game time with turnovers, touchdowns, incomplete passes.
Had a special teams touchdown, but Monticello just completed their 5th drive of the game. Rich on their 4th, all in 1 quarter of play.
Trips right, single left here for Hoffman.
Far right.
Bubble to Smith. They're trying to go with the double pass. That might have been forward. Either way, it's incomplete.
Could have been intercepted. Could have been a forward pass in the first place. And the pass to get out there took so long that the Monticello defense got in there. You can't throw a rainbow when you're throwing east and west in that direction.
That's a forward pass. Looking last week, Cole, I was doing the 3A semi, Manti and Morgan. Manti scored on a play like that. It was 1,000,000% a double forward pass. And it's tough to see in that moment. They don't have the luxury of a replay like we do.
I was calling a 6A game, and that was a similar thing. Now, the game at that point had gotten very far out of hand. No one was really watching it, but
2 receivers to the left. Option for Rogers. Hoffman pitches. And guess who? 25-20. He is gone again for another touchdown. Just a sophomore. Hudson Perry finds the end zone again.
As you're building yourself a dynasty in Rich, you look for some of those young guys that can keep it going into the next generation. And to have that speed and this pitch play specifically that has worked so well for Perry to run in, that's encouraging.
I love a good option like that. Read to perfection. Got to give some credit in the state of Utah. BYU, this is the best I've ever seen BYU run the option. You at one point had Taysom Hill and Jamal Williams doing that, 2 NFL guys. And somehow Jake Retzloff
figured it out.
And Hinckley Ropati, of all people, are doing it really well. Extra point is no good. So with 1:59 to go in the opening quarter, it's Rich 26, Monticello 0 on TeamHive.live with KSLSports.com and V6 Media.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs. Just complete an application on your phone or computer, or stop by any branch.
My parents know nothing about gaming. I told them we needed Centricom Fiber because it's by far the fastest and most reliable internet speeds.
Hey bud, dinner's ready. Time to turn off the game box.
All right, this round's almost over.
Live high school sports action on Centricom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back on in, 26-0. It is all Rich Rebels right now. Tanner Wilkinson, Cole Wissinger with you. We're not even done with the first quarter yet, Cole. Still 2 minutes, 1:59 to go.
if there's a chink in the Rebel armor, we haven't had a successful PAT yet. We've had a block, a miss,
and
a two-point successful, and a two-point try that was no good.
Two-point Hail Mary, too. That almost didn't happen. Return here by the Buckaroos as they get out to the 29-yard line. It'll be first down and 10, Monticello. Rogers on the return. I want to see them get Rogers a little more involved. He was the guy a week ago, getting him on slant routes, getting him in single coverage. Got to see if you can get it into the hands of your fastest man.
And unfortunately, right now it comes down to the quarterback not having the time to develop some of these routes. Even when I was watching some other film of Monticello during the course of the year, yeah, he's got the long windup, and it's not always the prettiest thing, but no one on this field is looking to play at the next level or in the pros someday, so it doesn't matter what your form looks like if you can get the job done. And Monticello was, just not today.
Play fake for Kai is going to take a shot for guess who, Rogers. That's incomplete.
But that had a better opportunity at
yes,
it, right? That's the kind of pass we were seeing out of Kai's.
Falls incomplete there. Is well defended, though, too. Give Rich some credit. 3 guys convening to get that pass breakup.
And he splits him. The ball falls right in towards the breadbasket, but one swipe at the end, I think it was 15, Conrad Corelio, that ends up breaking it up.
Split back set, 2 receivers, 1 to either side here for Kais. It's a backwards throw. This will count as a rush. And a good catch and run. Comanche with it. Runs into his own man. Stutter steps forward. He's going to get the first down before stepping out of bounds. A great catch and run from Jaden Comanche.
Needed the 39, got to the 41. And I think one of the Buckaroos slow to get up here in front of the Rich bench.
Yeah. Oh. That's Morrison. He's taking his time.
And he took an extra little hit afterwards, even where there was chaos happening. Now he's
staying down.
He's sitting up at least. There's no, looks like no concussion, no head to worry about. But
maybe a twisted ankle, knee, something like that. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back to wrap up this first quarter right after this on TeamHive.live with KSLSports.com and V6 Media.
I'm Dr. Brandon Beck, and I'm one of the general surgeons at Central Valley Medical Center. One of the best parts of my job as a general surgeon is to interact with a wide variety of people. And many of those people have experienced chronic conditions or painful things for many years. And there is nothing better than helping them to work through those conditions and to have an improved quality of life. I'm happy to be back in Utah at Central Valley Medical Center serving the people in our community.
It's not about the miles you take when you're driving, but the milestones you see when you get to where you're going. When you graduate high school, buy your first car, get married, start a family, find your first home, and grow old together. Let each mile bring you closer to the moments that matter. L&L Motor. People you know. People who care.
This is Nate Christensen at Zions Bank. We're not just your bank, we're your neighbors. And with a branch right around the corner, we're here for you wherever you are. For all your personal and business banking needs, come visit us and let us show you how Zions Bank is for you.
These days, kids do a lot of their homework online. They talk to their teachers, they receive assignments, and they do research, all from our kitchen table. That's why I chose Centricom Fiber Internet. They have the fastest and most reliable connection, so my kids can stay on top of their schoolwork.
Live high school sports action on Centricom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Hate to see it with Morrison, but he is still down and now getting help to his feet.
He's got a long walk to the other bench. And it looks like they're just going to take him the short way off to the medical.
Yeah, locker rooms are on this side, so might just be good to get him back there.
Instead of trot him to his bench and then have to
trot
walk
him all the way
around.
back.
Yeah,
good decision. This is tough for Monticello. Now down 2 of their guys, and that's part of why you play 8-man. You have a thin roster. And especially compared to Rich, Monticello's roster was thin, just got even thinner. So.
Yeah, but it warms your heart to see the bolstering of the 8-man program and classification here in the state of Utah, because some teams, it just fits them better. In Panguitch, you see them come up to the state track meet and they're running all over folks. Maybe it's just they don't have the numbers to field a football team, but they have some athletes.
Right.
It's going to show.
Well, and a couple kids from Panguitch have been making the drive to play football at Beaver. So there you go. They have the guys to do it. Another high pass from Kai's trying to get it to Rogers. Kai's just has not quite had that touch.
He sees the green and he's trying to lead his receiver to a specific spot, but sometimes in the way that you're coached to do it, you got to actually hit the receiver in your hands. You know, he's just playing a little fast and loose with it. And we saw it on the other side even with Carter Hoffman, where once you get into scramble drill, it's just backyard ball. And especially when it's only 8 guys out there instead of 11, it feels more like backyard ball.
Delayed draw to Black. Falls forward for a gain of 3. Good tackle by the Rebels, number 67. That's Rylan Go, who's had a nice first half today, Cole.
And Go's able to, they also, Rich, talking more about why these guys are playing 8-man and where the numbers are at. Rich has been able to get some of those reinforcements, and they just did a hockey line change on the front where Go and a couple others got to step off.
Kai is trying to get it. I think it was intended for Rogers up the left side. It was closer to Camacho. It falls incomplete, 4th down. 2 Rebels were right there. Camacho gets a hand on it. So that was either high for Camacho or short for Rogers. Either way, it's an incomplete pass.
Split the difference, and now 4th down, and still in the first quarter, and we're not into mercy rule yet. It's 4 touchdowns, but also missing a couple PATs out there. If you're trying to get back into it, there's plenty of time.
Sure.
You just got to start converting some of these 4th and mediums.
So Kais takes the snap, back to pass. Pocket holds well, throws, just missed his guy, had Camacho again.
Wide open. That is an open spot in the zone. That's where Travis Kelce has made $1.5 million or so in the NFL, just finding.
Or so.
I tried to exaggerate
I get what you were
to a really large number, but these athletes make more than $1 million. But you find a soft spot in the zone, and then you're able to do something after the catch and do something with it. The slant got him right to where he needed to be, and then the pass just wasn't quite there.
First down and 10 at the 45 for the Rebels. Again, for the clock to be running, it's got to be 35 points in the second half. 35 or more in the second half. And the opposing team's got to get it back down to 21 in order for that to stop, as Hoffman stutters, cuts back upfield, makes one man miss, and then, a nice shoestring tackle. Hoffman might have been gone if that tackle is not made.
By his numerical opposite, it's
Yeah.
Rogers, who's done some good work coming down from the secondary, playing with leverage.
Yeah, cuts back across, just gets enough on the, almost grabbed the knee pad there. Don't see a lot of tackles made that way. Second down, 10. Do we got a timeout?
Clock is ticking.
Oh, it'll be the end of the quarter. Would you look at that? We finally have the end of the first quarter. 48 minutes later, end of 1. It's Rich 26, Monticello 0 on TeamHive.live with KSLSports.com and V6 Media.
Mountain Land Supply of Roosevelt is your local employee-owned and operated solution for plumbing, heating, and cooling, waterworks, agricultural irrigation, landscaping irrigation, power equipment, pumps, tools, and safety. Discover the difference a knowledgeable and friendly staff can make for you. With thousands of products and brands you know and trust, Mountain Land Supply has what you need when you need it. Call, click, or come into Mountain Land Supply of Roosevelt and let us help you move mountains.
Since 1947, Barney Trucking has built a reputation of unparalleled customer service and satisfaction in the trucking industry. Barney Trucking is now hiring drivers statewide, including Beaver, Millard, Sevier, San Pete, Juab, Carbon, Emery, Utah, and Salt Lake counties, as well as many other locations. The job includes a home daily schedule, excellent pay, benefits, training, retirement, a positive work environment, and requires a Class A CDL license with doubles endorsement. To apply, go to barneyjobs.com. That's barneyjobs.com.
Here we go, second quarter underway as Hoffman tries to get the first down. I think he's going to get it. Going to be just shy, Cole. Needed 2, got 1.
That's lane discipline. That's what we haven't seen so far from Monticello. So sometimes when those broken tackles happen, it's because a couple guys get out over ahead of their skis. But right here, it's just block shed, stay on them, and then wait for your help to come. Third down.
So third down and short here. Again, likely 4-down territory for the Rich Rebels. If you're just joining us, longest quarter I think I've ever been a part of in my high school calling career. A 48-minute first quarter.
Lots of possessions for both teams, scoring, some injury timeouts
incomplete
as well.
passes. That'll happen. So, play fake. Hoffman runs for it to his right, being pursued. Doesn't see Carter Rogers. coming in with the sack.
Rogers had a shot at it early in that play, and he just kept after him and kept after him. We've seen Hoffman make plays after the fact here, but he just slowed down, waiting for things to develop, and he's brought down.
So now it's 4th down and 8, a loss of 7 on the play for Rich.
Which, by the way, was only 3rd down and short because Hoffman wasn't able to get it just that extra yard on 2nd down, and now we got a punt situation.
So now they elect to play the field position game here, do the Rebels. First time they will punt today. Snap is good. Kick high. Oh, that's oh my goodness, the spin. Takes a bounce. Probably not the most friendly bounce that Rich was hoping for, but it's still inside the 15. Yes, that's a beaut. What a punt.
And all of our punts have been going in the south direction?
That is correct.
Now that I'm out of the Utah Valley, it's tough for me to get my bearings again. But yeah, now that we've flipped position, we'll see if Monticello can get some of that momentum running north the way that Rich did in the first quarter.
Yeah, we haven't spent a lot of time down in this south end zone or in the south part of the field. So ball at the 14-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 Buckaroos. Again, this game last year was close. It was 35-20 a year ago. So far has not been the case here today, as Black just bottled up right up the middle. No gain on the play. Again, it's kind of become predictable what Monticello wants to do when Black gets the football.
And it's running into the strength of Rich. We mentioned they've got the reinforcements on that defensive line. They're all strong and big, and they're fresh. And that's not going to be the case for Monticello. The deeper we get into this game, that depth on the Rich bench is going to become more and more evident.
Well, like you said, you see Rich doing some hockey line changes. Seen that at times today. Low snap. It's a give to the right side, Black. Black trying to get to the edge, gets maybe 2.5, 3 yards, as once again, that edge defended well by the Rebels.
But early penetration sets him off his line as well, right? You want to make a beeline and start to slowly angle forwards. He has to start by going backwards and then loop around to start gaining yards at all on these outside runs.
Give him more. That was a better run for Black than I was giving him credit for. They give him 5. So they'll give him 4. 3rd down and 6 here.
Must have had a good reach there as he was getting towards the sideline. Now we're spreading it out.
Very spread formation. 3 left, 1 right for Kais and the Buckaroos.
3-man rush.
Brings Rogers in motion. Kais steps up, fires a dart over the middle. It's just high and incomplete. 4th down. Monticello's got no real choice but to punt here, I would think, and maybe not, as Kais is coming in to get some kind of a play call here. And they'll do this where they do the quick kick, right? They snap it to the quarterback, and he just gets rid of it as quick as he can on a kick.
In my years of watching the NFL, I think Ben Roethlisberger is the only guy I've seen that has lined up at quarterback, backed up, and done a punt in that way that we've seen. You'll see more times in a high school season than in 20 years in the NFL, but it's an option. And the way they're spreading it out here, the receivers look like gunners anyway.
And it's a low, not great kick. Takes a bounce and will be fielded at the 46-yard line, where it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Rebels. So it takes a good bounce for Monticello relative to where the ball initially hit. And Rich takes back over.
So we spent a lot of time, Tanner, talking early on in this game how little subtle differences in the 8-man game. And one of the biggest ones, though, is that everyone's eligible. And so your offensive line can get out into the pass pattern. We haven't seen a lot of that, where it's a lot of the offensive line staying into block. Unfortunately, though, because they are options in the receiving game, they're not as refined pass blockers. And so the rush, when you rush 3 or more, you're getting into the laps of both of these quarterbacks.
Option read, and this defended well by Monticello as the Rebels go up the middle. Hudson Perry barely got that football. That play was blown up quickly. Give credit, and Hudson
Cameron Carpenter right in the backfield.
Give them credit for getting that off. It's a gain of 3, 2nd down and 7 coming up here for Rich. 2 receivers right, single left for Hoffman. The back to his left hip. Hoffman takes the snap, fires right side. It's complete to Weston. Weston looks to make a man miss. Defended extremely well by his numerical opposite. Coming up to make that tackle, it's Arturo Gutierrez, just a sophomore for Monticello. That was an excellent open form tackle.
And for Monticello, they had a little bit of a subtle defensive shift here, too, where William Rogers has been playing a little bit of the deep safety. they abandoned that. It was cover 0 behind everything, and so they took the flat. They had an opportunity to get it over to number 35, Fonnesbeck, down the field if they want it whenever they come out in this defensive set.
3rd and short, Rogers fires a dart, bumped, incomplete. Trying to get that to Smith. 4th down and short here for the Rich offense. Don't mind that play, Cole. If you're going to go for it on 4th down, I would have liked to have seen more of a short yard situation play. Now I get Monticello's defending that a little bit better.
And again, with no deep safety, that's the area of the field that you do want to attack that's one-on-one.
And flag. This might be some kind of shift potentially.
Shifts and illegal formations are the ones where they throw immediately when the ball is snapped. They wait to see what you're going to do, but if you're snapping it and it's illegal, that's when they throw the flag.
So they don't ever blow those dead. It is a live play, and you can choose to accept or decline it, unlike a false start.
Called on Drake Weston, one of the team captains, and has been having a wonderful first quarter.
Yeah. Well, this quarter's moving a little bit better. In 8 minutes of real time, we've played 4 minutes of game time.
That's a good little average.
So, yeah. 3 to the left, 1 to the right here for Hoffman. Takes the belt-high snap, rolls to his left, fires on the run, has a man wide open. It's Smith who gets the first down and is tackled out of bounds at the 31. Excellent route by Smith. Got right where he needed to be, and a good ball from Hoffman.
Past the sticks, great cutback. That's how you draw those up, and especially with the designed rollout to his left, able to flip the hips. And for Hoffman, yeah, it's a simple little 12-yard comebacker, but he delivered.
Yeah. First down and 10 for the Rich Rebels out at the 31-yard line. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. It's going to be a counter right on a sweep. Some space for Weston. Gets to the 25, 20, 15. Cuts back inside the 10 to the 8. What a first half for Weston.
And as you were listing off that personnel, I was thinking, okay, and so who's listed? Who's sitting there right at that tight end position? No, it's Weston. It's a slot, and it's got that opportunity for exactly this kind of play.
First down and goal inside of the 8-yard line for Rich. Already leading this one 26-0. Looking to extend once again. The Rebels already looking for back-to-back titles here in the 8-man league.
Perry's in the slot right this time.
They get that one-on-one. Wide open. Hudson, does he get the foot down? He does. It's a touchdown. Excellent play to Riker Hoffman. Thought that was Hudson Perry. No, it's number 24 coming down with the reception. You only need one in high school football, Cole, and that would have been good on, it is a Saturday. And that
good on Sundays,
that
too.
would have been good on Sunday. Would you look at that? Great angle from our camera crew. We've got a great crew with us down here with TeamHive.live and V6 Media. Extra point is coming here for Rich.
Again, they have not put one through the uprights yet.
That one looks good.
There you go.
And sure enough is. So with 7 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in quarter number 2, it's Rich 33, Monticello 0 on TeamHive.live, KSLSports.com, and V6 Media.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
33-0, Rich in front here in our 8-man state championship game, and Cole, they just look the part.
The Rich High cheerleaders give you high kicks, one for every point that they've scored, and they're getting their cardio because that's 33 of them. We're still early in the second.
Approaching the football and sending this one low but deep. First touchback of the day. So Monticello will bring this out to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, good leg. You're right. First touchback, first time we've seen the ball just get to the end zone on one of those. Every time a kick gets to the end zone at the high school level, you blow it dead, come out, touchback.
First down, out at the 20-yard line for the Buckaroo offense. They need to get something going here, as this game it's been out of hand pretty much the entire early morning here, as we're now into the late morning window. It's a double pass, little Philly special here, as it's a throw to Keys, but it's picked off by the Rebels. Tripped up at the 25-yard line. Riker Hoffman, he just caught the touchdown. He now catches the trick play interception, and Rich takes over yet again.
The key to running misdirection is to then attack the area of the field that gets fooled on the misdirection. This double pass is cool, but then it comes back into double coverage. The deep safety never moved, nor should he in most of those concepts on anything or any confusion mesh going on in the backfield. He's just playing deep safety, waiting for something to get past the first couple lines. Here, it wasn't a run, it was a throw, and he was still in position to make a great play.
Yeah. First down at 10 for the Rebels. Trips to the right side, single receiver to the left. Hoffman awaits the snap, gets rid of it, and the receiver fell down. Did he make the catch, Cole?
Shouldn't have, but he did.
Yeah, he ends up not being a good thing, as Paxton Nicolademus. It's a loss of 3, maybe 4 on the play. Just slipped right as the ball was being thrown, and if he had just fallen a little bit more forward, that tip of the football.
The receiver instincts kick in. You got to catch it. You got to bring it down, but you end up losing 3 yards.
Second down at 13. 6:27 to go before halftime.
We had a great shot there on TeamHive.live at the side of that Monticello helmet, the old Wyoming Cowboy logo.
Yeah, that is the same logo, isn't it? Hoffman dancing, throws a dart over the middle. It's complete to Nicolademus, and he's going to get a couple yards back, but does get brought down.
William Rogers attacking downfield. He's had a good game for as much as you can, just allowing 33 points on the offensive side, but Rogers has been in the right place at the right time in a lot of these.
Trips to the left, single receiver right for Rogers. Or Hoffman, excuse me. Very tight bubble formation to the left.
Looking there immediately.
Hoffman does get rid of it. It's complete to Smith. Smith cuts back upfield, falls forward. I think he's going to be about a yard shy, Cole, and he will, in fact, be just shy of the first down. Fourth down and short coming up here.
And now the Rebels are kind of flirting, right? You can't have an ineligible man downfield on your offensive line, but you still can have offensive pass interference if you start engaging in the defense on those sidelines too early. And so your receivers, you got to wait to start blocking until the pass actually gets out to you.
2 receivers left, and Rich is going to take a timeout here. We'll take one as well on TeamHive.live. I think they're going to kick, Cole. I think that was what the timeout was taken for. They're going to try the field goal. We'll take it on TeamHive.live with KSLSports.com and V6 Media.
Have faith. Have faith. Believe in your source. Have faith. Have faith. Have faith. Believe in your source. Have faith. Have faith. Believe in your source. Have faith.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
34-yarder.
Carter Hoffman, your holder.
Snaps good, holds good. Kick, is it going to get there? It does.
Just enough leg, and the Rich sideline loves it too.
Do it in all phases today for the Rebels. Give some credit to the man, number 35, Dylan Fonisbeck, the junior. Just gets it through that right corner. Great shot by our crew, and that makes it 36-0. So
that breaks the 35-point threshold you need going into half.
So if Monticello were to score here, that would prevent the running clock happening should that be our score at halftime. As constantly, if we go in 36-0, the clock will run in quarter number 3.
As time has ticked, right, we had that extended first quarter of real time, maybe not game time. We're now past 11 o'clock local, and things are starting to warm up out on the field.
Yeah.
It was covered in snow, and they had tables turned sideways. They were trying to shovel all the snow off the side of the field in the first place. Now everything's melted, and it's getting to be a sunshiny, beautiful day for state championship football for the other 3 games that we have later on today, too.
This is just round 1, folks. Of 4 games is the kick. Another good boot, fielded at about the 4-yard line now. Rogers heads right side, looks to get met and is at the 15-yard line. Excellent downfield coverage by the Rebels. That is number 3, Samuel Leifson, with the tackle.
Lane discipline too, right? So Grohl misses the initial tackle because he outruns him to the side, but what Grohl did was ushered him towards where he knew he had help. And so by being fast, yeah, he misses that tackle, but it's easy to clean up afterwards, and the play works.
36-0, Rich in front of Monticello. Buckaroos have just had a tough go of it today. 2 receivers to either side for Kais. A bit of a high snap, gets rid of it quickly. It's low and just incomplete. Second down coming up here for the Buckaroos. As that's just been the story. Low.
Goes over to the sideline, gets the next play, and gets a little pep talk from the coach. Probably got to grip that one on the laces a little bit better. It was such a quick design that you just take it and go, and not every quarterback has the kind of mitt that can get you there.
2 receivers right, single left for Kais. Handoff. Black again trying to get to that corner and is brought down by Leifson for a short loss. It's going to be a loss of a yard.
Rich is just too stout to run it up the middle, and the Monticello perimeter isn't quite fast enough getting out there to turn that into anything either, and we're kind of stuck into the stalemate that we've been for this Monticello offense.
3rd down and 11, 4:25 to go here in the quarter. A much quicker moving second quarter. As Kais, another high snap, loads up, fires, has a man. It's bobbled and incomplete as he was trying to get that to number 6, Cash Young. Tough play there for the Buckaroos. It's 4th down.
Not every pass has been perfect, but that one goes down just as a drop.
Just a tough outing for this Monticello Buckaroos squad.
And just a week ago, they were clicking on all cylinders to get you to this championship game. Remember, both teams came in with 20-plus point victories in the semis.
Right.
And so Monticello, we know the offense is in there somewhere, and it's not all just being thwarted by a good Rich defense. Sometimes it's just a little miscommunication, too. That's not the best design.
No, low kick from Kais as it will bounce to the 40. Rich takes over with 4:02 to go here in quarter number 2. And again, if some of these passes are caught and some of these plays work, Monticello's probably not necessarily in the game, but they've probably got some points on the board by now.
Sure. Yeah, to still be shut out with 4:02 to go before halftime is not how they pictured things going whenever they got that big win last week.
So 4 minutes to go before halftime. Some college scores of interest. Number 3, Texas leads Arkansas 10-0. Number 2,
classic SEC matchup right there.
Well, what's funny is those are old conference rivals from back in like the 60s.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly. The Southwest Conference.
Handoff right side here. Cut back upfield. Weston goes to his left. Tried to be brought down from the 20 and gets to the 16-yard line. A great run from Weston.
Weston's got another gear. I love that.
Number 2, Ohio State playing Northwestern at Wrigley Field today. Oddly enough, Ohio State leads 14-7 in that one.
There have been some turf malfunctions past couple times the Big Ten's tried to play football on a baseball field, and so I'll be keeping one eye on that.
Number 17, Colorado leads Utah 14-3 in that one.
Colorado in a position where if they win out, they'll be meeting some team in the Big 12 championship.
Weston making guys miss, stutters, heads
now
left.
Now it's open.
Gets to the edge, dives. Touchdown as the Rebels tack on yet another score here before halftime, 42-0 with the PAT pending.
Man, we've mentioned it a few times when it comes to the pass concepts, right? Once we get out of the first 3 seconds of the route, sometimes if the protection's holding up, you can get around and you can just play some backyard ball. But 8-on-8 football in these kind of run plays, there's not as much clutter on the field. You still have such an open field to work with, and it just feels like backyard football, where if you can make guys miss and just not go down, you can keep going.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Weston has been able to do that, especially for Rich.
Extra point coming here. Hoffman holds, kicks on its way, and that one off the upright and through. It's just got to make it through. Doesn't matter how it gets there, and it got there. 43-0, Rich leads. Let's take another look at that on our replay here. Doink. You should get an extra point for that. Like an extra point.
Sure.
If you hit the upright.
Hey,
so
the state of Utah's got hockey nowadays. We're ringing the red light in the back of the net. It just barely crossed, but it crossed, and we're good.
You and I going to a hockey game next month. I'm very excited about that. Big shout out to our good friend Jacob Habel, a.k.a. Great Value Jack Harlow, for hooking us up with those seats.
He's been a classic staple. Jacob has done camera work for me in a couple of 6A and 5A games up in Utah County as well. He's a member of the Team Hive family.
Sure is. He's got a pretty darn good resume at this point. He's worked for the Twins, he's worked for Real Salt Lake, and he's worked for the Astros.
Yep.
So.
And he was one of the BYU assistant agents.
Yeah,
as well.
That's right. Yeah, did some stuff for BYU as well. So, yeah, the kid's got a good resume. I say kid. He's a man. He's a kid to you guys like you and me because he likes to point out how old we are. As that kick goes in for a touchback, Monticello will bring it back out.
43-0, and Monticello trailing right now. Rich in the semifinals was right around that territory. What, their last, it was 53-20, you said, was what got them here. And they're well on track to get that, even if you leave your foot off the gas for the rest of this one.
First down and 10, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left here for Kais. 3:19 to go before halftime. Kais claps, handoff. Opportunity here for Black as he goes right side, stutters, stays in bounds, falls forward, will have the first down and then some as he gets out past the 35-yard line.
That's the kind of play that Rich has been making, right? When you have all this field to work with and only 8 guys on it, you have opportunity to make guys miss and just follow your blocker. Just every single block is so much more important because you have more green to work with. He waits, he's patient. I tell you, Le'Veon Bell would eat 8-man football alive, even if he was, like, he's an NFL guy, so of course he would, but the style of play is what you got to kind of embody when you're running behind guys in 8-man game.
They go 2 receivers out. It's another draw play. Black trying to get there, makes one guy miss, doesn't necessarily have the blocks to the outside, does get forward for a short gain, and he does get out of bounds at 2:42, and they say forward progress leaves him inbounds. You're there. So a gain of 3, second down and 7 for Monticello. Clock continues to wind at 2:30. Buckaroos trying to get some points up before halftime. And even with a touchdown here for Monticello, regardless of 2 points, 1 point, not getting any extra, Rich is going to have enough to keep the clock moving in the second half. Timeout to the Buckaroos. We'll take one as well here on TeamHive.live, KSLSports.com, and V6 Media.
This school year will be different.
This year, I'll do my assignments on time.
I will listen to my teacher.
I solemnly swear.
I won't eat any glue.
I'll do my homework every night.
Every night.
Research? No problem.
School, I got this.
This year will be different. Visit Centricom.com to power your education with the best internet experience. Everyone succeeds with School to the Power of Centricom.
Live high school sports action on Centricom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back on in, Rich and Monticello. It's been all Rich, but the Buckaroos are driving. Second down and 7 here, 2:16 to go before halftime.
8-man title at stake.
2 receivers right, 1 left. Pump fake here, a throw high and complete. Quarterback got hit, just falls short. It's always interesting sometimes, depending on where a quarterback gets hit, Cole. Sometimes that almost helps with the launch and you overshoot a guy.
Yep.
Not the case on this one.
Yeah, this one he ends up losing juice, not able to step into it the way he normally can, and it goes down.
3rd down and 7. 2 right, 1 left, receiver-wise for Kais. Play fake, gets rid of it quickly. It's complete to Rogers. Rogers cuts upfield. Looks to use that speed. 1st down and then some into rich territory for the first time since that opening drive.
And that opening drive where they started the drive in the first place after a great kick return in rich territory, that great footwork by the quarterback, get it out quickly, and then the receiver split the defenders and then put on the gas.
Ball at the 41 for Monticello with minute 46 remaining before halftime. If you're the Buckaroos, might need to start playing with a little bit of pace here.
Already used 1 of their timeouts, 2 remaining.
2 to the right, 1 to the left. Pump fake from Kais. Has a man deep, takes the shot. It's a little underthrown, but right in the breadbasket, and another catch. This one from Cash Young, the sophomore.
And that play act, that pump fake, sets up and ensures you have the one-on-one down the field, right? You draw in the flat defender.
You know a thing about watching a quarterback pump fake.
And go.
Wouldn't you say?
Good old shoulder fit. Big Ben putting the whole body into it.
2 right, 1 left for Kais. Black is his back, takes the snap. It's a draw play. Black wrapped, breaks a couple tackles, and will fall forward for a gain of 5. Clock is at 1 minute and 8 seconds here for the Buckaroos.
Yeah, that's the hard running the Monticello's just missed out on in this title game. If they'd had a little bit more of that, a couple more holes early on, it'd be a totally different ball game.
2 receivers right, 1 to the left. No huddle here with 51 seconds left. It's a draw play to Black. Black looks to go right side again, and he's looking to fall forward and is going to get down to the 9-yard line. Needed to get to the 8. A timeout called by Monticello here. Let's keep it here, Cole, talking about strategy. Playbook's open. I like that they ran a couple run plays there. You've got a couple timeouts to deal with, and overall, really good play calling here on this drive.
Now that you're inside the 10, the clock is not as much of an enemy as it is the down markers, right? It's 3rd down and short here. You have at most 6 more plays. You can run 6 plays in 42 seconds. The clock is not a problem, especially with 1 more timeout. You can run any 6 plays in 42 seconds as long as you have a little bit of pace and plan to it. And so right now it is drawing up the kind of plays that can get you the 9 yards requisite, not worrying about how long or what they're going to take off you.
So it will be 3rd down and short following the timeout here. Playbook's still open for the Buckaroos as they're trying to get on the board here before halftime. Rich has just put on a clinic. If you're one of these new 8-man schools, you're going to be watching a lot of Rich footage from the last couple seasons.
And this is the film, especially if you are a new school, this is how you play 8-man. These are some of the advantages to the game. This is where you find your tips and tricks if you're a coach that's getting ready for his first year of coaching at the 8-man level.
3rd down and a yard to go for the Buckaroos. Kais to pass. Pump fakes, throws. It's just low and incomplete. Rogers was well covered by Wilkes Weston on the outside.
Got a little bit of color in his face, right? The pass rush was there just enough to kind of throw off the timing. The pump got him into the air, but then you can take a little bit more time, right? You have an opportunity. Now it's 4th down, and this one's important.
4th and a yard for Monticello with a single receiver high. Tighter formation here. It's about getting the 1st down. Blitz comes. Black right side, stays on his feet. Inside the 5, brought down to the 2, maybe 3-yard line where it'll be 1st and goal for Monticello.
Keep churning, keep going. That was in danger early on in the play, but Black's power kept it going. Yeah, Rich, immediate penetration, almost got to the quarterback before the mesh point, but Black's able to power inside the 5.
Clock winding at 18 seconds. They still have the timeout. Kais, play fake, roll right, fires on the runs. Got Rogers, touchdown. Monticello on the board with 11 seconds left before halftime. That's how you do it, Cole. Don't leave your opponent any time before you head to halftime.
At high school and college, you have wide hash marks, and so the difference between your boundary side and your field side are a big deal. when there's only 8 men out there on defense, it's an even bigger deal when you're rolling to the left. By the way, with a left-handed quarterback, that's more natural for him. He's able to get the receiver moving in that direction as well, and you got plenty of room for the touchdown.
So now the 2-point try from Monticello. Very interesting here is...
That's Tennessee out wide.
As it's just going to be a direct run and does not go anywhere. Loss on the play. So with 11 seconds remaining, here before halftime, it's Rich 43, Monticello 6 on TeamHive.live, KSLSports.com, and V6 Media.
Quicksand Inc. is a general freight and dry bulk commodities carrier. We specialize in the hauling of silica sand used in the fracking operations of the oil and gas industry. We deliver with pneumatic, bottom drop, or box chassis trailers throughout the Uinta Basin and Rocky Mountain region.
As a urologist, my job includes treating kidney stones, diagnosing, treating prostate cancer, and other disorders of the urinary system. Here at CVMC, specialists and primary care physicians all work very closely together.
As a family physician, being able to have continuity of care and direct relationships with our specialists is something we're very fortunate to have here.
I'm Dr. David Sewell, board-certified urologist. I'm proud to provide state-of-the-art care here at Central Valley Medical Center.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back on in. It's Rich 43, Monticello 6. Snow flurries again starting to fall here.
I have a feeling we're going to get that during the course of our Saturday.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll pick up at different times. There's some blue sky peeking through the clouds, but that's just the kind of football weather we're in store for in our state tournament final day.
They go with kind of a squib kick here. It's fielded and returned up past, oh no, still on his feet out past the 45, and that'll take us with 4 seconds left. They officially stop the clock at 3. Well, Cole, our good friend Dwight Schrute once said the greatest fear isn't fear at all. I botched it. The greatest snowball isn't a snowball at all, it's fear. Well, Rich has instilled fear into the hearts of whoever they have played this season. Regardless of rain, shine, snow, you name it, the Rebels have looked the real deal.
And this is just a feather in the cap at the end of a very long, successful season. Victory formation, it's just a knee at the end of half, but it feels like a victory at this point.
So they kneel down for the Rebels, and that will take us to halftime. Rich 43, Monticello 6. You're tuned in to the 8-man championship game here on TeamHive.live with KSLSports.com and V6 Media.
I know. You think underage drinking is wrong.
Letting a parrot watch horror movies is wrong. I found you! Underage drinking? That's very wrong. It can harm your learning ability and your grades.
When your kids understand underage drinking isn't just wrong, it's very wrong, 9 out of 10 don't drink.
In the fast-paced world we live in, every second counts. Whether it's staying productive in your home office or enjoying entertainment with no buffering. With CentraWave from Centracom, experience ultra-fast, next-generation, reliable internet that keeps your whole family connected. CentraWave by Centracom. Fast, reliable, everywhere. Get connected today. Visit www.centracom.com/CentraWave or call 1-800-427-8449.
Rely on women's healthcare you can trust. I'm Heidi, Director of Women's and Newborn Services. Ashley Regional Medical Center has cared for generations of women in the basin for more than 80 years. Our dedicated women's center provides routine well woman care, obstetrics, 3D mammograms, and ultrasounds. With a team of physicians and a certified nurse midwife that offer around-the-clock care in our birthing center and level 2 NICU, we're here for you when you need it most. We know women's care. We know the basin. Learn more at ashleyknowsthebasin.com.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
WUHSAA. Watch the replay of today's event for free online at KSLSports.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the field for your halftime entertainment, the Rich Rebel Cheerleaders. Level cheerleaders. Now welcome to the field the cheerleaders for the Monticello Buckaroos. Thank you to the Monticello Buckaroo cheerleaders. Wilson is the official ball of the Utah High School Activities Association. For athletes to perform their best, they require the best. For over 100 years, that's what Wilson has delivered. Learn more at wilson.com. Agrarian Insurance is a proud sponsor of Utah High School activities this weekend. For more information, visit FUNYC.org. And thank you to Agrarian Insurance for your support of high school activities in Utah.
Are you a new CDL license holder? If so, Barney Trucking would like to train and pay you to become a world-class truck driver on state-of-the-art equipment. They also provide you with reliable, courteous support, a fantastic wage, paid holidays, solid benefits, home daily schedules, paid time off, an excellent safety record, and respect. Dependable truck drivers have been Barney Trucking's #1 investment since 1947. Start your outstanding career by applying today at barneyjobs.com. barneyjobs.com.
My parents know nothing about gaming. I told them we needed Centricom Fiber because it's by far the fastest and most reliable internet speeds.
Hey bud, dinner's ready. Time to turn off the game box.
Alright, this round's almost over.
These days, kids do a lot of their homework online. They talk to their teachers, they receive assignments, and they do research, all from our kitchen table. That's why I chose Centricom Fiber Internet. They have the fastest and most reliable connection, so my kids can stay on top of their schoolwork.
The leaves are changing, temperatures are dropping, and the holiday season is just around the corner. Strata Networks wants to help you celebrate with family and friends. From now until the end of November, you have a chance to enter and win one of 9 $200 grocery gift cards. Just enter your number at stratanetworks.com/thanksgiveaway and complete the survey sent through text message. It's simple. Don't miss your chance to win $200. Strata Networks. We connect lives.
Live high school sports action on Centricom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
In Monticello, halftime between Monticello and Rich. It's the Rich Rebels put on a show in the first half. They lead at 43-6. Tanner Wilkinson, Cole Wissinger with you. We've got Brad James here, Brad's old home here at SUU, where he lovingly refers to it as the alma mater. 43-6 is our score here. Cole, some stats that Brad provided us that you wanted to point out here from halftime.
One that screams out, and we'll get into all the ways that Rich has been successful and put up 43 points so far, but when you wonder how Monticello goes from a team that gets 40-some points in the first, in the semifinal game, and then ends up trailing 43-6 in this one, 3 for 23 passing by Jackson Kais. And that felt that way. It was why the first quarter took a really long time. It was really a brutal performance from a team that had been clicking on a lot of cylinders.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a testament to the Rich defense, right? That's a team that they just put the hammer down. They know your weaknesses. They try to expose said weaknesses. And on top of that, they've just got some good football players. A couple of guys that really went off in that first half, specifically Drake Weston, a guy that had a good first half, Hudson Perry, Riker Hoffman, those three guys out at those skill positions saw a lot of green grass, and even when there was times that they weren't seeing that green turf, they were making things happen.
Every single one of those three names you mentioned scored at least one touchdown. Hudson Perry had 2, and each of them ran for more than 60 yards. Perry, on only 3 attempts, had 63. Drake Weston, 67. Carter Hoffman, 88 yards rushing, including that one long run from his quarterback position coming all the way around. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was something else. That was on the opening drive. for the Rebels. So interesting to see how this third quarter plays out. Rich does get the football to start the second half. We will have a running clock here as it's currently a 37-point ball game at the moment. So that's going to bode well for getting our next game started on time, especially given that first quarter, 48 minutes of real time. There's only 12 on the clock. It took 48 actual minutes to get through that opening quarter.
And there are 4 games we got to get played here down at Southern Utah University today. We got to stay on track, and the very first quarter of our first game put us behind. But yeah, a running clock will get you there. And unfortunately for Monticello, who saw a little bit of this story last year coming up just short, this one has already gotten out from under him.
Yeah, coming up the rest of the day in 1A, Kanab and Beaver. That is as old of a rivalry as there is in the state of Utah. Playing for a state championship nonetheless should be very entertaining. It was a 21-7 game, the first time those two teams met in the regular season, a win for Beaver. And then 2A, Emory and San Juan, also region foes that San Juan has just been. They haven't even been the Patriots or the Chiefs. They've been better than that in 2A, just
the
dominant.
1960s Celtics? Like, where are we going for dynasties at this point?
The way San Juan beats teams, their only loss was to Grantsville, who lost in the semis in 3A this year. That 3A championship tonight, 2 unbeatens, Morgan and Richfield. Richfield's the defending champs. Morgan allowed 3 total points in region play. Gave up 28 to Amanti on a backup quarterback last week. So there's some questions about, is Morgan more vulnerable than maybe they appeared, or was it just a bad week? Well, stick around with us all day to find out. Is the onside kick, is it going to go the 10 yards? It is not. It spun out after a gain of 9 on the, you need 10 for that ball to become live on an onside kick. Rich takes over at the 48-yard line.
And that's the way to for trying to get a little bit of juice to start the second half and build your comeback as it would be. And yet, yeah, the spinner, and gosh, I don't know if I could do that if I tried with my hands to get it to spin that well and off of a kick. Really impressive if he had just gotten 1 more yard on it.
So it's first down and 10 for the Rebels as the clock is already winding. Here in half number 2, under center. Snap Hoffman, play fake, going to be a roll to the right, has a man wide open. It's complete out to number 60 as he cuts back upfield, stays on his feet down inside the 30. The ball poked out. Does Monticello have it? And they do. The Buckaroos come up with the football. Talon Pace with a catch and run, trying to get one of your big linemen involved. They're not used to carrying that football, that at least not that far downfield.
So much to dig into here, right? Monticello tries to steal the possession with the surprise onside kick. They manage to do it after just one offensive play by Rich and a turnover. We mentioned before, Rich is coming out here in the last year Lions alternates, looking with all gray and the bright blue helmet. And if there's any team in the NFL that wants to get their offensive lineman eligible, it's the Detroit Lions. Everyone's eligible in 8-man, and then a fumble after it. Exciting start to the second half.
Run up the middle by Black. He's going to gain 3, maybe 4 on first down. Good gain for Monticello. And at this point in the juncture of the game, your playbook's wide open. You're just having fun playing football. That's kind of what this second half's going to come down to. Last chance for these seniors to play in an organized league, most likely. It's going to be another handoff to Black, left side. Stutter steps blown up on the play. Multiple Rebels in for the TFL. It's a loss of 2 on the place. Third down and 9 coming up after 2nd and 7.
And this is the part of the season and the part of the game where you start to acknowledge your seniors and start to look, us as broadcasters have the luxury of doing this where the coaches don't necessarily, at where are your juniors and sophomores, the underclassmen that are going to build the team that hopes to get back to the title game next year. Both these teams are back-to-back participants in the state title game at the 8-man level.
Bobbled catch by Camacho, but he keeps the legs churning and gets the first down out to the 40-yard line. Nice catch and run. Took a minute for him to secure the catch, Cole, but he brings it in and gets a nice gain.
Kais and Camacho, both juniors, and this is a connection they hope will work out next year. Brings it in, and yeah, Camacho has that run after catch. He's the one that, one of the more explosive plays for the Buckaroos was the opening kickoff, where Camacho took it all the way back and into Rich territory.
Kais throws to the outside. It's a little wide. Again, trying to lead Rogers down that left side of the field. Falls incomplete. So second down coming up after the incomplete pass from Kais. And that clock should be winding, and there we go. 43-6. Rich, again, if you're just joining us, the Rebels just came out and executed at a very high level, took advantage of mistakes, and then made some magic of their own as well. You got to give them credit. This is a good football team.
Rich coming out in a 2-2-4 defensive set with the linebackers sneaking up, and Black gets around him.
Oh, and a trip tackle from behind. Who else but Weston with the shoestring? Black had a lot of room, Cole, heading up that left side. But a tackle from behind, just grasping at the cleats, was Weston.
Not to give anything away for our post-game show, but through one half and a couple of minutes, Weston's the player of the game.
Kais loads up, throws complete over the middle. Carter Rogers moves the sticks. He's saying he can do this all day as he moves it forward, and a first down for Monticello.
Good job by Rogers.
Ball at the 44, now into Rich territory. Good ball there from Kais. Looks a little more settled in this half, Cole. I think had a good talking to at halftime. Just go out and have fun. Drops it on the snap, and that's just going to be a loss out back at the 50, so a loss of 6 off after the bad snap.
Picks it up while on his knees, but he does pick it up, and that's important. Retain possession.
Yeah. They'll officially call it a loss of 5. Second down and 15 now for Monticello.
Although that old, everyone's got the coach in the back of their head if they've ever played organized football before, is you just fall on it. Make sure you get the football.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's 8-man ball. If there's any situation where maybe you pick it up and try to make something happen, it would be in 8-man football where we've seen all kinds of broken tackles and the like.
High snap, handoff right side to Black. Just chased beautifully out of bounds. Wasn't able to make the tackle inbounds, but Zenik Stocking, the senior, slowed him down enough that the only option he had left was to go out of bounds. It's a nice play. Third down and 12.
Again, Rich, stout defense in the middle. You push him outside. You keep pushing east and west. And then you follow through.
Split back set. 2 receivers to either side for Kais. Or 1 receiver to either side. My apologies there. Play fake. Kais loads up. Going to take a shot deep. He's got Rogers who locates and hauls in a beautiful, beautiful catch. Not the best ball in the world, but Rogers makes a nice adjustment on it. Dives for it and is able to haul it in.
Yeah, 2 receivers on the other side would be the normal formation. You'll get a chance to call some 11-man football later on today. But in the 8-man game, it's one-on-one matchups on the outside whenever you have that situation, and Rogers takes advantage of it.
They go split back set once again. 1 receiver to either side. Kais, handoff Black, stutter step, trying to follow that blocker. And not going to get much of anything, maybe a yard on the play. Second down and 9 for the Buckaroos.
That's a good little chess match between this 3-man offensive line and which rusher comes from Rich. That time it was Weston playing a little bit of middle linebacker, and he was just tied up by first the up back, and then the other offensive lineman comes in and finishes off. If you get 4 hands on one guy, you give a little bit of a gap.
Second and 9, Kais to throw. Pressure. Fires, it's high and nearly hauled in with one hand, nearly going OBJ is Cash Young. Third down and 9 coming up. And Cole, we're almost midway through the third quarter already. That's the gift of a running clock. Cousin Eddie might say that's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is that time of year. My wife put up Christmas last night before I took the trip
Really?
down
Okay. I was going to ask when that was going to happen. We have not gotten around to that yet. Third down and 9.
No shame for not, because the calendar is not even to December yet.
Well,
but to each his own.
2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Clap of the hands for Kais. Pumps. Loads up for the end zone, and this is incomplete, nearly picked off. Not sure if he was going to be able to get a foot down should he come down with that, but certainly a chance at the football for Samuel Leifson.
And the pump, again, you freeze the flat defender and you set up your one-on-one, but that just hung in the air too much that it ended up Leifson had a better shot at it in the air than the wide receiver did. I think he was targeting Rogers.
Fourth down and 9. Here for the Buckaroos. 5:14 to go in quarter number 3. Trips left. Snap Kais. Loads up and fires. Ball's tipped. That might have been a completion. Not sure if it would have been enough for a first down to Rogers, but the tip forces the turnover on downs. A good drive for the Buckaroos, just couldn't cap it off.
Yeah, it's some play design stuff. As you watched on the replay, your slant that's coming from the right side where the single receiver was, the defender that was following him in man coverage is the one that got his hand up and deflected it. So again, you're running routes where two defenders are able to be in the vicinity, and that messes up your timing, and that eventually ends up in a turnover on downs situation on your first really successful long drive of the game. We've had short fields and we've had a touchdown for Monticello, but that was the first really sustained drive.
Pollock with it to the outside, 30, 35, 40, stays on his feet, 50, cuts back upfield to the 40, 35, 30. He's going to go one play, and in for 6 are the Rich Rebels. Hudson Perry, what a run. He might be giving Weston a run for his money by the end of the day.
Yards per carry average is something that we'll take a look at when Brad James brings us the final stats of the game, because up till halftime, Hudson Perry was listed with 3 carries and 63 yards. He just more than doubled his total yards and became the leading rusher for the team. And with only 4 touches, 3 of them have been touchdowns.
Get him on my fantasy team for Sunday. Have him sign up for our Guillotine League. Extra point coming here for the Rebels, as it looks like they've ran a different kicker out. I think Nicolademus is now the one to handle the PAT here. Is going to give him a shot at it, and that PAT is through. So with 4 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the third quarter, it's Rich 50, Monticello 6 on TeamHive.live, KSLSports.com, and V6 Media.
Hi, I'm Barrett Hilton with TeamHive.live, where we've created a locally run video streaming platform for Utah schools. On our website, you're not going to wade through a bunch of unrelated content. You bring up TeamHive.live and you're just going to find a lot of high school sports and events. We've created tools that make it super easy for you to create events and stream to our site. And if you ever need help with anything, you can give me a call. So I want to invite your school to join the team. If you're a Utah high school, you can stream live on TeamHive. That's TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
Live high school sports action on Centricom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Once again, Rich, one play, busting it out for 6, as the Rebels will now be set to kick this one back off. Buckaroos had a good drive, Cole, and when you want to keep implementing some of those things going forward, however, you got to finish. You got to finish the drive.
And it was long and it was time consuming with the new running clock too.
Opportunity for a return here from Rogers, left side, takes a couple hits and goes down at the 26, 1st and 10 for the Buckaroos here.
And then on the flip side, Rich takes almost no time off the clock, despite a running clock, when you have a one play and 70-plus yard drive.
And then a good opportunity now for some of these underclassmen, right? You got a chance to show out something to build off for next year. I say this all the time, Cole. You cannot replicate live football reps with the crowd and the officials and the clock and the management and everything like that. Only so many reps you can get better at in practice. Back to pass Kais. It's complete. Left side. It's going to be a gain of 6 on the play. 2nd down and 4 coming up.
Kai's just a junior. If he plays all next year, he might end up with more passing reps than Anthony Richardson has had and Trey Lance. And so, yeah, what you're saying is applicable at every level of quarterback development. You've got to get out there onto the field in order to bring things down. There's only so much you can do with mental reps, VR reps, whatever it is. Nothing replaces being on the field.
2nd and 4 for Kais. Throws, dropped right in the hands of Comanche. And so 3rd down after the incompletion.
And that came up quick.
Storms coming in from the north as we're getting flurries again. These look a little more aggressive than the other flurries we've had earlier today.
Yeah, if I'm the 1A and 2A coaches that are coming into the stadium and trying to get my guys warmed up, I'm looking real nervous at those dark skies.
3rd down and 4. Snap Kais. It's a handoff. Right up the middle, just no sledding once again for Black. Give some credit to the Rebels, number 55, Boston Jolly, a junior. First man to get there.
Or if, totally hypothetically, I was going to be a person on the roof filming one of the 1A or 2A games, I would also be very nervous about the storm and the weather that's coming in.
Hypothetically.
Yeah. Not something that applies to me personally, of course.
Fourth down and 4.
I brought gloves. I brought a ski coat.
You're prepared. You're a Pennsylvania boy. You're prepared. 2 receivers to either side.
Pressure.
That's got to be an offside, doesn't it?
That is a neutral zone. That's beyond the neutral zone. Wherever the neutral zone, he got past it and into the backfield of Monticello.
Snow is coming down now, folks. Coming in from the north.
It's windy. It's blowing from north to south, too. The American flag at the north end of the end zone is almost straight out, and so that's going to be a big kicking story for the rest of this game and into the other championship games.
You know, Cole, I lived here in Cedar City from the ages of 4 to 8, and I don't remember much. I remember the wind.
Yeah.
I remember that wind. My mom talks about she wore hard contacts at the time when we lived down here, which anyone who wears hard contacts, just why? Why would you do that to yourself? As different quarterback is in now, they make the substitution as Cash Young, who's just a sophomore. So is this the future for Monticello at quarterback? Is it going to be, I guess Kais is still just a junior, but maybe just giving him a little bit of a break here is.
Young and Kais have both been on the field at the same time for several plays. Young's been on the receiving end, and here even Kais
is out wide
as a receiver as well. And not the way that Jay Cutler would go out wide, but in a way that's very athletic. And
don't think I've ever seen a guy give up on a football play like that. As Young looks to push forward, might get back to the original line. 3rd down. So 3rd down and 6, no gain.
And we're less than 90 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
A quick moving quarter as the snow is full on coming down here in Cedar City at Eccles Coliseum.
The Thunderstorm is the name of that student section on the other side. And considering the travel for both of these teams, 9 in the morning kicked, or 10 in the morning.
Good crowds,
Good crowd, and weather now to deal with too.
Back to pass. A throw on a slant to Young, incomplete.
Kais delivered it.
He's back at quarterback. So that now brings up 4th down for the Buckaroos. So we're at 49 seconds and counting here in the 3rd quarter. This likely the last play, this next one here, of quarter number 3. Rich 1 quarter away from going back-to-back. Monticello, 3rd loss in as many tries in this 8-man state championship. But again, part of the fun with this 8-man, Cole, it's growing. It's we got more schools on board for next year. I think they've seen the fun and the success that this is happening with. So 4th down and 6, I formation here. Kais, play fake, out of it, fires in and out of the hands of Rogers. It's incomplete. Would have been right at the sticks. Turnover on downs with 13 seconds to go, so that was not the final play of the quarter.
And the Buckaroos had a man advantage because Rich came out in their punt return set. They had a man all the way deep that was standing right around the 25-yard line that came up late into the play, and that was the one-man difference where there was a little bit of an opening, and we had an opportunity there for a catch right, like you said, right at the sticks, right at that yard to gain marker. And that'll be the 3rd.
They officially run it out, with the running clock. So after 3, it's Rich 50, Monticello 6 on a stormy Saturday. One more quarter of 8-man action next on TeamHive.live with KSLSports.com and V6 Media.
DNA McRae is hiring crude oil truck drivers for our Uinta Basin routes. Be home daily, drive new and well-maintained equipment, and earn quarterly bonuses with great benefits. DNA McRae offers outstanding career choices with flexible schedules, benefits, performance bonuses, and an average starting pay of $100,000 per year. We're a safety-focused, family-friendly work environment looking for those that fit our values. Call 435-893-4442 or visit McRaeTrans.com to complete an application.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
12 minutes left in the 8-man season. Coming up next, it'll be 1A, Kanab and Beaver. This would be like BYU and Utah playing for the national championship, Cole. Red versus blue. Beavers maybe had a little more success getting things done in recent years.
Long-standing rivalry.
Yes. Hoffman takes the snap. First play of the 4th quarter, short drop pass. It's complete to the outside for a decent gain. Number 24, Riker Hoffman, who had an impressive touchdown grab in the first quarter, gains 9 on 1st down and 10.
We flip sides of the field the same time we flip possession, and so teams are still working from left to right as we're looking at it.
Yeah.
Going from north to south, if you have to kick a field goal, you got the advantage of that 12-mile-an-hour wind or whatever you think about in Madden, as you're gearing it up.
Hoffman rolls to his right, fires short again, and this time completes it to Weston for a first down. The snow's really coming down now, Cole. It's very thin snow. It's not a very thick. Those aren't thick flakes out there, but something to keep an eye on. So, first down, 10 at the 26-yard line. So,
and you can see it just flurrying around in the camera work as well.
Yeah, those are the conditions, folks. 2 receivers to either side. Takes a snap. Pumps. Hoffman.
Pressure.
Goes down and is sacked. A great play from the Buckaroo defensive line, number 50 for Monticello, coming up with that. Noah Diltz, just a freshman, out there making a sack.
You don't see a lot of empty formation in these 8-man games, and that could be a reason why. Anytime you bring pressure, there's not opportunity
no one to chip.
Bring back.
So 2nd and 20, a loss of 10 on the play after the sack. 10:20 to go here in the fourth quarter. The clock continuing to wind. 2 receivers either side. Another empty set for Hoffman as the snow just gets heavier and heavier. Play blown dead. False start. Delay a game. False start is going to be the call.
Rich was trying something, right? That's that Tennessee formation where you just spread them out as far as you can and stack the receivers on either side.
So that'll bring up 2nd down and 25 now, following a sack and then a penalty. Hoffman's got his hands in his, what do you call those? The quarterback pocket?
The hand warmer.
Just a hand warmer. Of course it's one of the simple things, right? It would make sense to be called a hand warmer, yeah. 2 to either side. Hoffman to throw. Gets rid of it quick. Just batted to the line of scrimmage. Falls incomplete. With 9:50 left here in the fourth quarter, it's going to be 3rd and long.
Monticello's defense is playing this the right way. When you come out and you try to spread it out that much, when they're so far away, right now you're just trying to set up a little bit of space. But if they bring 4, that's a one-man overload, and Rich has not been able to find a way to counteract it.
So 2nd down or 3rd down and 25. Or is it still 2nd? They haven't changed the down. Should be 3rd down. And that is correct. They're going to have 2 receivers left, 1 right, single back set here for Hoffman. Takes the snap, option play. Oh no, it's a different quarterback in for Rich. And a run forward for a couple yards. Checking into quarterback, junior Jet Holmes, so he'll be the guy next year with Carter Hoffman taking his final snaps as a Rich Rebel. Pitches that out to number 34, Wyatt O'Mealy, who's just a freshman. So some good reps here for some of the underclassmen of the Rebels.
And now we see Hoffman coming back out there. His day's not done, but he's going to go home with likely, now it seems, a 2nd straight state title.
Well, 44 points with 8:30 to go in a running clock, that would be something. That'd make Jim McMahon drop his jaw. Oh my gosh, that's a Butte Clark in the snow. A high punt, takes a bounce inside the 10, the 5, mark it at the 4. Wow.
Assist from the wind, put it up as high as you can, let your gunners get under it. That's how they draw up punts.
Now, the one thing we haven't seen yet in this game is a safety. We'll see what ends up happening here. So it'll be 1st down and 10 for Monticello at the 4-yard line. Looking at some of these seniors for the Rich Rebels. Samuel Leifson, who's been big as a defensive back tonight. Carter Hoffman, obviously a quarterback. Zenik Stocking has a pass breakup on the day. There's a bad snap right off the bat. It's fortunate for Monticello, they fall on it.
But now you're back to the 1.
Daniel Smith, who caught that 2-point conversion. Antonio Maldonado, a senior. Drake Weston, who's been big. Riker Hoffman. A lot of really good players.
Weston and Hoffman, 2 of the team captains that were out for the coin toss at the beginning of the game.
Lineman Jordan Johnson. Talon Pace, who had a catch earlier in this game.
Number 60, the offensive lineman, did have a catch earlier in this game. You didn't hear him wrong.
And then Jadix Chandler, those are your seniors that are going to go out on top for the Rich Rebels. 2nd down and 4. Under center. It's a handoff. No, it's a play fake. He's going to throw deep down the side. Coming back and making a catch. Carter Rogers at the 35-yard line. What a job again from Rogers.
Let your man adjust to it. The play fake worked. Fooled us up here in the booth and fooled Rich down there on the field just enough to get some space. And then when the defender is playing behind like that, not able to adjust the way the wide receiver does, and it's a big chunk play.
Cameron Carpenter, a senior for Monticello. Want to give some shout-outs to their seniors. Carter Rogers, one of those guys who just made the catch. That'll be missed. 2 receivers, or 1 receiver out wide. It's going to be a handoff here to Black as he's trying to get to the outside and gets taken out of bounds. So Skylar Peterson, a senior for Monticello. Tavin Black, who, of course, is taking the bulk of the carries tonight, or this morning, rather, and then Jerem Robinson. So both these teams bring a lot of guys back. Now, granted, some of the flashier names for Rich are graduating, but they still played a good amount of underclassmen, a gain of 1. Play clock at 6:28.
Black has the leader of either team today in touches, a lot of carries on the ground, and he gets another one.
Ball goes right side, and that's going to be a horse collar. Now, you can grab that part of the jersey and the pad, but you have to push them forward or fall forward with them. Any pulling backwards or sideways, and you're not gonna be able to do You're going to get called for that every time.
Yeah, the only surprise on that flag is that all 5 refs aren't throwing their flags because everyone had vision to see him pull back there.
So that puts the ball out at the 50-yard line. Midfield for the Monticello Buckaroos. Via penalty.
And the clock gets ticking yet again.
Yep. Midway through this 4th quarter, Rich about to be crowned back-to-back state champs. And for Monticello, trying to get to that elusive championship. Go with the hook and ladder. I love it. 35-30. Rogers 20. He's going to go the whole way. Tripped slightly, but easily gets into the end zone. He's still doing it all day. In the snow, you name it. Carter Rogers finds the end zone. On the hook and ladder. I love it.
The designed hook and ladder. So let's watch where Rogers is coming from this whole play. From the backfield, we get a quick snap where the quarterback doesn't get his hands on the laces like we've seen a couple times. This time the hitch is complete, which is an important start of the hook and ladder is the hook. And then send it back out of the backfield. Carter Rogers with a head of steam in front and is able to speed into the end zone.
So now going for 2 here. Again, the 2-point conversion before halftime did not look great.
Swinging door on the left side.
Rogers just lops it, has a man open, and it's good for 2. Getting that to Seth Taylor, who's really the center. He wears number 3, but he's been the guy snapping the ball all season for the Buckaroos. Again, those guys are eligible, so the 2-point conversion is good. With 5:48 to go here in the 4th quarter, it's Rich 50 and Monticello 14 on TeamHive.live, KSLSports.com, and V6 Media.
The holidays. And holiday trips. And holiday toys. And holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag. Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $3,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. See your Rocky Mountain Chevy dealers.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back on in. It's 50-14 with 5:48 to go. Good little trick play there from Monticello. I like seeing a good hook and ladder executed to perfection like that. You don't see it every day.
The hook and ladder sets up the touchdown, and then on the 2-point conversion, you set up the swinging gate on your left side. The whole idea of that is usually to have some ineligible players off to the side that are just blocking. In 8-man football, everyone's eligible to begin with, and so it doesn't matter if they get downfield, and you're able to draw so much of the defense over to that side that no one was covering the center in the end zone.
Approaching A little bit of a squib. That Monticello, or that Rich recovers right at midfield.
Talon Pace has a catch, and now he snags that onside attempt right out of the air.
Good way to go out as a senior offensive lineman. Got some good paws. So.
Yeah, normally if you're that first line of defense on the kick return team, they tell you not even go for it. You need to get up and start blocking so someone behind you can get it. That's okay. There's so much space in the 8-man game. Pace just got up for it.
So we've got 1st and 10 right at midfield with 5:22 to go as the clock again continues to wind. I think they're short a guy, Cole. Yeah, they only had 7 out there. So now Rich is going to take a timeout.
And you can see a little bit of confusion from the offensive linemen wondering, they were looking around, they were missing a guy, they were all looking over to the sideline. Get the personnel change in. And especially the way that you run your personnel with 8-man, it's not always the same. Generally speaking, when you look at snap counts in the NFL, the only guys that have 100% of snaps are your 5 offensive linemen and your quarterback, barring any injuries. Whereas in this game, you switch out who your offensive line is depending on what kind of form and different
play call, personnel, yeah. You bet. So 1st and 10 right at midfield following the timeout. Now they get 8 guys out there. And again, going deep into the well here are the Rich Rebels, getting some young guys some reps.
Ian Adams was the one late onto the field in the last one. He is just a freshman. He's going to play the left side of the line, the lefternmost person.
Back to pass, roll out to the right. A good ball, batted down. Good coverage from Young downfield. Able to get the PBU. Again, Jet Holmes, the junior, is in at quarterback. 2nd down with under 5 to go.
Also on a cold November day, all 3 of the offensive linemen for Rich have hoodies with the hood sticking out on the back.
The James Jones look.
The James Jones, although it's not covering up the name because it's high school and there's no name on the back, just the big old Rich on the front that represents 2-time state champs.
They'll be going for the 3-peat next year. They're going to have some new competition, which is a great thing for the state of Utah and for 8-man football. As Holmes is going to roll out to his right, trying to evade, runs for it now, has some blocking downfield. Holmes stutters, spin move, spins again at the 30 and is picked up and brought down. An excellent run by Jet Holmes before Black able to get the tackle.
And it's Nicodemus that we've mentioned a couple times. It's already blocking for him downfield as soon as he crosses that line of scrimmage. As soon as you're allowed, without holding, just good form blocking from the wide receiver on the perimeter, springs him for an extra 10.
So it's now at the 29-yard line where it'll be 1st down and 10. At the 29. Man comes in motion. Holmes awaits the snap. It's going to be a design roll to his right. Loads up. Going to take a shot at the end zone. A beautiful ball rolling back to catch, and it's incomplete on 1st and 10. As he takes a shot for Paxton Nicodemus, just a sophomore. So Rich got some good athletes they'll be bringing back a year from now. That's a beautiful ball. Doesn't look like...
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, Zenick Stocking, the senior, we haven't seen a lot of, number 9, that got his hands on it in the end zone.
Yeah. Clock continues to wind at 3:15. 2 receivers to the right, single left for Holmes. Takes the snap. It's going to be a quarterback keep up the right side, has some blocking, stutter step, nice move inside the 20. That's going to be good for a 1st down. A good run from Jet Holmes now at 3 minutes remaining in the ball game.
You don't outkick your coverage and you don't outrun your blocking unless you're Jet Holmes and you can run faster. So he had his slot receiver out there and he just kind of cut in between his blocker and the defender. No one got to him, and then it wasn't until 5 yards later he went down.
1st and 10 at the 19-yard line.
Late substitution for Monticello.
They get it off. Different guy at Wilkes Weston, just a sophomore as well in at quarterback now. So he's going to take a run up the middle. Now onto your 3rd QB. as he runs forward for a gain of 6 on 1st and 10.
In the state of Utah, we should just call that Taysom Power. You just take the snap, one counter step back, and start moving forward.
2nd down and 4. For the Rich Rebels. Clock is down at 2:11. And now if you're Rich, you get a 1st down here, you can kneel this out. So, ball inside to the 14-yard line. Weston takes the snap. Going to be an illegal formation as that flag flew immediately. Weston cuts back upfield and is in for a touchdown. But again, this flag flew right at the snap. So odds are this is a legal formation, and this is coming back for the Rebels.
Yeah, that bottom side receiver on Weston's right was still moving out and never got set. So I think they'll end up calling it an illegal shift because he was still moving.
Sure.
It also counts as being an illegal formation too. They're just not going to stack the penalties.
So 2nd down and 9 after the penalty. It was 2nd and 4.
And the shame of it all is it's happening away from the play, right? That all is going on the right side. Weston's run and his power is going to the left. If you just let your receiver get out there and get set, touchdown stays on the board.
Yeah. Minute 40 at this point. Clock continues to wind as the Rebels come into the huddle. And they are on their way to their back-to-back state champs. As Weston takes the snap. Going to be another run. Bottled up fairly well. They're going to say no gain on the play. 3rd down and 9. And you should be able to just take a knee here. Get this under right to around 40, and you can take a knee and call it a day.
Take a couple seconds to sit down on it. And that's your victory formation for the Rich Rebels.
Back-to-back state champs. And if you're Monticello, more things to build on, right? You've been to the championship game now 3 times. Unfortunately, 0-3 in those championship games. But they bring a lot back a year from now. And that's always a good thing when you get this far, knowing you're bringing guys back.
And the legacy of 8-Man is going to have a lot to thank Monticello for the way that they've established things. We do see the knee with under 30. There's that 10-second disparity between the shot clock and game clock, the play clock and the game clock, and Rich can celebrate.
Congratulations, your 2024 8-Man state champions in the state of Utah, the Rich Rebels, doing it back-to-back years. And they do it against the same team they did it against a year ago in the Monticello Buckaroos. Congrats to Rich. Congrats to Monticello on a great season. The Rebels will be having a party in Randolph tonight.
It was a 43-6 halftime lead. Hit into the running clock. 7-8 was the score after the half. And Rich just was able to salt it away and celebrate with their seniors. What a game.
Yeah. The Rebels, phenomenal season. Again, they played tough. They played a tough schedule, Cole. Those games against Gunnison Valley and North Sevier and South Sevier really prepared them for this opportunity as they will bring home the hardware for the 2nd consecutive year. And for the Monticello Buckaroos, again, nothing to hang your heads low on. You bring a lot back. You lose some speed in Rogers and a couple of your other guys, but this is going to be a team that is back a year from now.
And you continue to grow your program. 3 straight title game appearances, and even just looking at the handshake lines after the game, Rich outnumbers them. And sometimes it just becomes a number game when you don't have the substitutions late in the game and your defense gets a little worn down. But Monticello has a lot of reasons for the kids in the area to come out for the football team. We've been here 3 straight years. This is exciting. We've got the youth programs that start to build, and so you can start to see that long-term growth over the, because now when 8-man football was started, kids that were freshmen are about to be seniors next year. So now is when you start to see the programs build over time.
Once again, your final score here, Rich 50, Monticello 14. They're giving the teams 10 minutes to celebrate here as they're going to give the presentation of the trophy here in just a little while before they allow Beaver and Kanab. We're going to keep our coverage here for the presentation of the trophy as They did this last week, Cole, after their game. They do this with the cheerleaders, the captains out at center field. And they all bring it in as the Rich Rebels celebrate on yet another state championship. Trophy is coming on out and will be presented. And Monticello does get a trophy as well. Runner-up does get a trophy to place in the halls at your school, which is always a great pride thing. Great representation. And congratulations again to the Rebels of Rich.
Here in the stadium, they're going to go ahead and present that runner-up trophy.
Right.
And we can look a little bit ahead on this Monticello team that is in a situation where they can be back and try it again, run it back next year and see what they get. There's fantastic camera work. We pull out all the stops for the championship games. We've got camera down on the field.
Multiple shots from up top. Yeah, it's the real deal.
And there is your state champ in the 8-man level.
You love to see it. The trophy high in the air. The spirits high. It's all going to be a fun time up again in Randolph tonight as this that long trek from Cedar City to Randolph. That's a fun car. That's going to be a fun bus ride.
And you did it early in the morning, which means you got the day in front of you.
Yeah, that's right. You win early, you celebrate for the rest of the day. And that's what the Rich Rebels will be doing here. Unbelievable what this team's done in a growing sport here in Utah. It's been 8-man's been a thing for a long time in other states. We mentioned Idaho, obviously very popular. You put a guy in the NFL from Salmon, Idaho. Who's going to be the first one to make it from Utah? Who's the first one that's going to end up on Wilkin West being talked about one day on a future episode?
Those Utah athletes that make it to the next level. We see it, and we've seen just recruiting-wise the state of Utah blow up. We have a 5-star coming out of our state this year, a couple other 4-stars that will be going to play schools like USC and places around the country. And now 8-man has that opportunity for growth as well. Even if it's just some of the local schools at first, you have an opportunity to play a state championship at Southern Utah. This is a place where some of the 8-man guys come play. And
very much so.
We've got these, United Conference level teams in the state. They can give you a chance, even down Snow College, right? That's been a leapfrog place for plenty of NFL guys even.
So what's interesting, last week, Cole, Snow played Monroe, New York. Okay, they had a kicker, Monroe, New York did, from Grantsville, Utah. Isn't that amazing?
Good old Grantsville, 3A level.
Yep. Isn't that ironic?
And he has to come all the way. Was it in Snow College?
It was in Ephraim, yeah. So he came all the way back to Utah, got a kick in front of his family. So, see what these stats say is Brad is, I believe, printing at the moment. So
we can even look at the way they sat at halftime. Again, we mentioned the 43-6 halftime lead. The game was made in that first quarter even, where Rich jumped out to a 26-0 lead in that first quarter that took us quite a bit of real clock, but just 12 minutes on the game clock because Rich was scoring and Monticello turnover on downs and there was a punt return for a touchdown even that ended up really putting the game away after 12 minutes of game time.
Yeah. Once again, your final score, it's Rich 50, Monticello 14. Your Rebels taking home back-to-back state championships as they're continuing to be the dominant team in this 8-man. 2 of 3 titles. And they get to go home and have a nice long bus ride back to Randolph. And then I don't know if there's a fire department in Randolph, if they're big enough for something like that. But do you break out? If they're there, they'll be broken out. There'll be a nighttime parade. Appreciate all you tuning in for this 8-man. 8-man has become a great thing here in the state of Utah. It's a great thing to give more kids an opportunity to play football. And Cole, we're blessed to be a part of it as broadcasters and get to watch it. It's a good thing all the way around.
Fantastic team that brings together these, like we say, we're going to be here for all 4 state title games from 8-man, 1A, 2A, and 3A. And so it's a team effort that brings the broadcast this time of the year. We appreciate it.
Final numbers overall on the day. Keys does end up throwing for $173 and 2 scores. Hoffman 77 and a score. On the ground, Hudson Perry 4 for $144.
and 3 touchdowns.
Three of the 4 touches went for 6.
4 carries, 3 touchdowns. Doesn't get much better.
Long's totaled 312 yards to just 73 yards rushing. On the flip side for Rich, and that kind of is your difference in the game, just more broken out plays by the Rebels. As that does it, your final score once again, Rich 50, Monticello 14. Cole, a pleasure, brother. Good to be back on a call with you. It's been too long.
Fantastic. Thanks for calling me up.
That is our final broadcast, or final here once again from Cedar City and 8-Man. 1A is coming up next. We'll be sending it over to our friends in Radio Land, but stick here with TeamHive.live, KSL Sports, and V6. Big thanks to executive producer Barrett Hilton and all of our Team Hive crew. Too many to name. 1, 2, 3, too many to count out there for however many were helping us here today. We've got a great crew. Stick around with us. Congrats again to the Rich Rebels, your 2024 8-Man state champions.
You've been listening to exciting high school football action on South Central Utah's sports leaders, Mid-Utah Radio and Centricom Channel 10. This sports broadcast has been brought to you by sports-minded sponsors throughout South Central Utah. Join us next time for more exciting high school football action on Centricom Channel 10 and Mid-Utah Radio.